Hi, welcome back guys. This is your friend, the Pika Fanfics. Back with amazing fanfiction. This is the series of What If Ash Become Pokemon Superstar? Now before starting, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you want more videos like this. Now let's get into the fanfic. Hi guys, so this is chapter 1 of Pokemon Reaction and I hope you like it. ASH age 10 completed his journey through Kanto to Orange Islands. 8 months in Kanto and 4 months in Orange Islands. ASH age 11 to 12 completed his journey in Johto within 8 months and another 8 months in Hoenn. ASH age 12 to 13 completed his journey in Sinnoh within 8 months and another 8 months in Unova. ASH age 13 to 14 traveled the Dekalore Islands for a month and 7 months in Kalos and another 10 months in Alola. ASH age 15 entered in the Masters tournament and became world champion almost at the age of 16. Note, this starts in Season 3 where Ash, Brock and Misty were about to enter the Johto region and they were still in the forest area which lies between Kanto and Johto. And Ash's age is 11 at the current time. Note, and yeah I might add my own little changes but it will be the same. The Pokemon world inhabited by humans and those magical creatures called Pokemon. Humans and Pokemon exist alongside each other where they battle alongside each other, train and perform. People use Pokemon for battles, contests and performance and many other things while some just like to keep them as pets, but there are people who also use them for evil purposes. Now we will look upon a particular trainer's journey named Ketchum who was happily traveling towards Johto to register himself for the Johto League with his starting partner Pokemon Pikachu and his friends who were also the former gym leaders Brock Harrison and Misty Waterflower. ASH, I can't wait to register myself in the Johto League. Says excited I will win the whole league and become the Pokemon Master. Misty, sighs shaking her head here you go ahead. Really Ash you have a really long way to go to become a Pokemon Master and besides proving with actions is more effective than with words. ASH, come on Misty you know I won the Orange League. Misty, and was defeated by Gary and his Eevee the next moment. Ash was sitting by a shade clearly depressed by the news. Brock, chuckles come on Misty don't be hard on him. I know Ash will achieve his dream and we will support him. Misty agreed with Brock on that. ASH, yeah. Thanks guys and we will win it together right buddy. Looks at Pikachu sitting on his shoulder who raises his paw determined to win so how much time till we reach New Bark Town and I can register myself for the Johto League. Brock, we will reach New Bark Town in a day. ASH, alright then let's get going. With that they were about to move when suddenly a very large 150-inch screen opened up in front of them in thin air as they were surprised by this and were alert. ASH, what is that? Surprised. Brock, how did a screen appear out of thin air? Shocked. Misty, I don't know. Looking at the screen. Many screen appeared in big cities, Pokemon centers, houses and stadiums. All the TV screen in the regions had also gone blank as well leaving people worried as the screens were everywhere from forests to cities, from mountains to islands in every region consisting of Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, Sinnoh, Unova, Kalos, Alola and Galar leaving everyone worried and high authorities on alert. Big 150-inch screens were literally everywhere where humans and Pokemon inhabited as everyone were worried and the international police, regional champions, and the Elite Four were dealing with the matter suspecting it to be a sort of an attack but they didn't know what was causing it or how was this happening. And moreover if people went to places where screens or televisions were not available then a small 30-inch screen followed them wherever they went which creeped out many of the people especially when the screens followed them even while in toilet or bathrooms. LOL. With the Kanto Johto High Command Silver Town. In the PLA office of the Johto region we see the two regional champion Lance with the PLA president Charles Goodshow and the Elite Four of Kanto and Johto, Koga, Will, Karen, Bruno, Agatha, Lorelei. Note Bruno is a double Elite Four member for Kanto and Johto. Johto Elite Four. Kanto Elite Four. Lance, what is even happening? These screens show out of nowhere everywhere in the region and all the television screens go blank and on top of that we don't even know how and why is this even happening. Says while looking at the big screen which was covering half of the front wall. Lorelei, whatever this is. It is happening in many regions not just in Kanto and Johto. I don't know if this is some kind of prank or what. Bruno, we should stay alerted. Whatever this is. Many agreed. Charles, after cutting the call the international police is still looking on whatever this is happening. But it surely has created a surge of panic in the public. Koga, tries to touch the screen but his hand passes through it and looks like we can't even touch it. Lance, I will try to contact the G-Men. We have to see if the situation is dangerous and take action. Says seriously. Goodshow, indeed. I have contacted the International Police and the Ranger Union and they have said that they are looking over what is causing this. In Pallet Town Kanto. We see Professor Oak who was working with Tracy when suddenly a giant 150 inches screen showed up in the lab as Prof Oak was surprised but then looks at it intrigued. Prof Oak, what is this? Was surprised. Tracy, Professor, I think you should see this. Professor looks from the window and was shocked to see a giant screen in the sky towering over the whole pallet town, as a screen was also shown in the Ketchum household where Delia and Mr. Mime were also observing it. Prof Oak, what is happening here? That is what I would like to know. The professor turns to the voice and was surprised to see Gary at the door. Prof Oak, Gary? But didn't you leave for Johto? Gary, but I had met with Professor Elm who asked me to deliver this important package to you. Hands over the package to the professor, and I thought of switching some of my Pokemon team as well, and New Bark Town didn't have a Poke Center, so I decided to have a trip back home. Prof Oak, well thanks Gary. BTW, do you know anything about this? Gary, I am as confused as you Gramps. When I came to know about this screens, I came rushing back as soon as possible. And this thing is happening in Viridian City, and from what I heard from the people all over the Kanto region and other regions as well. Tracy, this is a bit frightening. I hope this is not something dangerous. Prof Oak, we should contact the higher-ups and see what they know about this. In Hoenn Region Evergrenade Stadium, we see the Hoenn Elite Four, Drake, Sydney, Phoebe and Glacia, with the regional champion Steven Stone looking at the giant screen which had appeared over the wall with worried and alerted expressions. Steven, have you found anything on why is this happening? Sydney, no champion. The president said they don't know what is causing this, but whatever this is. Looks at the screen, it's happening in many others regions as well, not in Hoenn only. A certain contest champion and the former Hoenn champion enters the room and looks at the current champion Steven with a frown. Found anything? Steven, no Wallace. We don't know what is causing this. Though shouldn't you in Lily Cove watching the contests? Wallace sighs tiredly. I was, but suddenly all the contest screens in the stadium stopped working and gone blank, and a large screen appeared in the sky of Lily Cove covering almost whole of the city, and it created a panic, so I came here. The contests are cancelled at the moment. Steven, I hope whatever this is not something dangerous. Pass on a message to the gym leaders in the cities to make sure no public panic is created, and inform the news channels that the High Command is looking over the situation. The other elites nod as they get to work. Hoenn Petalburg City. The Maple family, consisting of May, Max, their mom Caroline and dad Norman, who is also the gym leader of Petalburg City, were also worried looking at a giant screen which appeared in the house suddenly. Max, Dad, what is that? Norman, I don't know Max. But whatever this is, I will make sure it doesn't harm any of us. May and Caroline were also looking worriedly at the screen. Caroline, it doesn't help the fact that the same thing is towering over the Petalburg City. Looks at the sky from the window where the giant megascreen was floating above the Petalburg City. In Sinnoh Lily of the Valley PLA office. Same thing was happening in the whole Sinnoh region, where everyone were looking at the screen worried, while we see a very worried Sinnoh champion Cynthia with her Elite Four Bertha, Flint, Aaron and Lucian looking at the screen. Bertha, do you think it can be work of a psychic type? Looks at Lucian. Lucian frowns. No. I don't think a psychic Pokemon has enough power to make these screens appear all over the regions. Besides, Alakazam don't detect any psychic energy. Returns him Pokemon and looks at the giant screen on the front wall. Cynthia, I hope we get the answer soon, because whatever this is might be something big if it's happening all over the regions and not just Sinnoh. Till then, make sure to monitor any happenings in Sinnoh. The last thing I want is to find out that this is the work of Team Galactic. The other elites nod serious. In Veilstone City, we see two brothers looking at the screen, as one had a serious expression on his face while the other one was looking at it with a frown. This was Paul, Ash's Sinnoh rival, with his big brother Reggie, as they both were looking at the screen while sitting on the couch. Paul, what pathetic thing is this? Reggie, I wish I had answers for this. Paul. In Twin Leaf Town, we see a mother-daughter duo also looking at the screen with worried expression. Dawn, Mom, what is this? Points to the giant screen at the front wall. I was watching your past contest performances when the television screen gone blank and this giant screen appeared all of a sudden. Johanna, I don't know dear, but whatever this is, I hope it isn't something of a trouble. It seems that this screen is everywhere. Looks outside to see a giant screen over the Twin Leaf Town. In Unova Region Vertra City. In Vertra City PLA HQ Unova branch, we see the Unova champion Alder and his Elite Four Chantal, Marshall, Caitlin and Grimsley looking over the giant screen that has appeared in all over the region, as Sillin and his brothers were also looking at the same screen as well. Alder, so it appears that this thing is happening all over the Unova region and in the other regions as well, huh? Chantal, yes champion, and we have yet figure out the reason. Alder, then inform any new update on this and make sure no public panic is created. The elites nod as Alder looks at the giant screen which is present on the front wall. Just what are you? Caitlin, do you think it could be the work of the secret organization which is blooming secretly in Unova? Marshall, if it is then we have to take action soon. Alder, indeed. The president has informed that the International Police, Ranger Union and G-Men are in work to see what this thing is. In the Village of Dragons. We see a certain dragon trainer Iris with the elders and surprisingly the Lucid City gym leader Drayden looking at the big screen which had surprisingly appeared in the Village of Dragons as they were concentrating on what to do. Iris, what is that thing? Asked worried as her Pokemon Axu were looking at it as well. Elder, Drayden? Looks at the gym leader. Drayden, frowns. I wish I had the answers. In Kalos PLA office Lumios. We see the Kalos champion Diantha who had arrived from the middle of a movie shoot to look at things after seeing the screens suddenly appearing out of nowhere as she with her Elite Four members, Malva, Drasna, Wickstrom and Siebold looking at the screen on the front wall with a frown. Dintha, so other than the screens appearing out of nowhere in all the cities and towns and surprisingly in forests as well. There is nothing to report? Malva, no. But what are these things I still don't understand? Looks at the giant screen. Siebold, we can only wait for the further report from the International Police and the PLA. Wickstrom, and what surprises me is that we can't even touch it. He tries to touch the screen but the hand passes through it. Dintha, till then it's best we watch out for anything that happens. Looks at the screen with a serious look. In Lumios Tower. We see Clement and Meyer and a 7-year-old sister Bonnie who was hugging Meyer while looking at the screen that had appeared in their house on the front wall and all over Lumios. Clement, I still can't seem to understand the scientific reason behind this. Bonnie, I am scared. Says while hugging Meyer. Meyer, don't worry, everything will be alright. Bonnie. Says while looking at the screen. I hope. In Vanavel Town. We see another mother-daughter duo who were looking at the giant screen which had appeared in their house all of a sudden scaring Serena while Grace calmed her daughter. Serena, how did that screen appear out of nowhere? Grace, I don't know dear, but what I do know is that we are not the only ones facing this problem. Looks outside to see a giant screen in the sky over Vanavel Town and the others' houses as well. In Gloire City. We look at a certain Kalos queen and her instructor. The latter was annoyed as the performances were closed due to the screens appearing out of nowhere. Palermo, what in Arceus is this thing? It ruined the whole performances and now we can't even broadcast it. Aria, well whatever this is, it has appeared over the entire region so there is nothing we can do. Says the Kalos queen, though she was also sighing in relief as she got some relaxing time due to it, but she was also worried of what it might be. In Alola region Melee Island. We look at the Pokemon school where Professor Kukui was teaching the class when the screen appeared out of nowhere all over the Melee and the classroom board was replaced by the giant screen as Professor was looking with a sense of worry when Principal Oak enters. Prof Kukui, do you know what is this Principal Oak? Samson, I wish I knew about it Professor, but I have zero knowledge on it. The only thing I know is that this thing has appeared all over the Alola region and in the other regions as well. Prof Kukui, in other regions too? Surprised. Samson, yeah. I called my cousin and he informed me about this. It's happening Kanto, Johto and all the other regions as well. Mallow, Professor. What is this? Prof Kukui, don't worry, we will get to the bottom of this. No one will be scared, alright. Everyone nod, but they all had doubts about this. Lily, there must be a scientific reason for this. Says with a hint of fear. Same thing happened in Ether Paradise as well while Kahunas had gathered up to see if it's an attack on the Alola region while the Alola Island Guardians tried to attack the screen but it just went past through it surprising them as they could only watch it with wary and helpless eyes. In Galar region Winden City. We look at the Winden City Stadium where Leon had won yet another battle and was in his office alone with his partner Charizard when the screens appeared in all of the Galar region and Leon frowns when he sees this. Leon, why is this happening? Says while looking at the screen on the front wall and the mega screen covering the whole Winden Stadium, we should be ready if this is a sign of endanger Charizard. Charizard nods, ready to destroy anyone who will be a threat for his trainer. Leon, on call, make sure all gym leaders are ready to counter any attack if a problem arises. Tell the public of Galar to be calm, alright. Then cuts the call as the champion of Galar, I will not let anything harm it. Says while looking at the screen seriously. Everyone, whether they were the evil organizations, High Command, Champions, International Police, G-Men, Ranger Preserve or the public in all the regions were left confused when suddenly the screens start to lit up showing few words on the screen and everyone look at the screens. 5 years in the future. Everyone, especially all the scientists and the high commands, were shocked that the screen was showing them their future and they were really curious of it. With Kantojado High Command. Agatha, 5 years in the future? Is this some kind of joke? Will, so we are going to see the future? Lance, but how is this possible? Surprised, immediately contact the professors and ask them if this is possible or not. They might have some sort of scientific explanation to this. But the screen didn't give him enough time to take action as it showed a video. In Pallet Town. Gary, 5 years in the future. Did it mean it will show us the future? Is this some kind of a joke? How is that possible, Gramps? Prof. OK, it's not possible, but... Knowing how these screens appeared all over the regions and they are following us, I don't think it's impossible anymore. Let's see what this is, we might get our answers. Both the Oaks and Tracy were sitting on the couch looking at the screen. We should invite Delia as well in case something dangerous happened. Tracy nods and goes to call Mrs. Ketchum over. A very large and advanced striking stadium was shown, filled with large number of people. Many reporters, trainers and simple spectators were present at the stadium as well. Everyone looked in amazement of the stadium which was shown when their gaze fell on the name which was written beneath the image on the screen, and the name Gala region caught many people's attention. Many didn't know about the region and those who knew were surprised to see the Winden Stadium on screen, and mostly the said region's people were confused to see their region stadium on screen. With Kantojado High Command. Will, Gala region? Bruno, I never heard of it before. Confused. Lance, it's a region northeast of Kalos. I never been there but I have heard about it. Though I must say that the stadium really looks good. Do this exist? Looks at Goodshow who nods. Goodshow, yeah, Winden Stadium. The PLA has recently made ties with the Gala region and the champion of the region is said to be very strong though. If this is from the future then why are they showing us this? Lorelei, do you think the someone from the Gala region is responsible for this? Goodshow, I don't think so. The officials informed me that same thing is happening in Gala and they are confused as well. Agatha, so I guess they are showing us the future whatever this is. But why and what is this? Looks at the screen. With Ash and friends. ASH, wow. That stadium is so awesome. Misty, Gala region? Have you heard anything about it, Brock? Brock, frowns no. I might search about it but no. I do know that Gala region exists but I never heard about it more. ASH, I really wish to battle in that giant stadium. Says excited as Pikachu nods as well. Misty and Brock sigh at Ash's excitement. With Sinnoh High Command. Cynthia, Gala region huh? Says intrigued. Flint, have you heard anything about it? Cynthia, yeah, and I do wish to visit the region in the future though I don't know much about it. Aaron, by looking at the stadium and the amount of people gathered. I think something big is happening whatever it is in the future. Many nod in agreement at that. The screen then shows two figures running into each other with a Pikachu though their faces were not visible, but the action play of the screen showed the figures to be running as their voices was heard. You almost got it? Said a girl's voice. Huh? Oh hello, said a male voice but the name wasn't revealed. Pika. Boy, so we both are in the Masters 8, huh? Says excited. Girl, right, I have been looking forward to seeing you. Boy, same for me. Since we've come so far. Both, I gotta win. Says both excited at the same time. The word Masters 8 had caught the attention of many people, champions, and elite trainers all over the region, and they also noticed how eager those voices looked. Though the people were disappointed for not able to see the faces of those figures, they did recognize one to be a boy and other was a girl as the higher-ups tried to make out their features so they could know who these kids are. With Ash and friends. Misty, Master 8? Frowns confused. Brock, It might something in the future though. Why do I feel one of the voices somewhat familiar? Misty, yeah, I feel it too. While Ash and Pikachu were looking at the screen confused. With Kantojado High Command. Lance, Master 8? Asks confused what's that? Bruno, some sort of a tournament in the future I think. Goodshow, do you know something about it? Looks at Goodshow who was looking at the screen intently. Goodshow? Goodshow, listen guys, we have to watch this. Says in a serious tone while inside he was confused filled with questions. Thinks Masters 8. Is it related to the project which I am planning in the future, but I have only made plans for it. Though it did say it is showing the recording 5 years later, so it might be. The screen then shows the Winden Stadium again, a Pokeball symbol with different designs on the side to crown the most strongest trainer when the announcer's voice was heard. Announcer, yes, Winden Stadium is standing room only, filled with the resounding voices of a crowd expecting heated battles. Audience, applauds and cheers. Seeing the audience and the excitement of the crowd really made all the people in all the regions curious and intrigued about the battle. They all watched with interest at what was going to be shown on the screen, with many trainers, veterans or rookies were looking at the screen with interest, including the champions and the elites as well. Even Leon in the Galar region was eyeing the tournament with interest, hoping that someone in the tournament would prove to be a great challenger for him. A challenger who could give him the thrill and fear of losing in the battle, because till now no one has come to pass his Charizard and Rillaboom. The Galar people were also looking with interest at how excited their future people looked, so they thought that this might be a big event to attract so much attention. Though many thought that they were going to see their idol champion in action, because the people really get excited while watching their champion battle every time. Everyone were intrigued, whether they were Pokemon fans or ordinary people, coordinators or trainers, performers or breeders, champions or veteran trainers, due to the enormous crowd which had gathered in the screen, as they all wanted to know what was going on. This even brought the attention of the evil organizations, mainly Team Rocket, who dreamed of ruling Kanto and stealing Pokemon which were powerful. Soon the announcer's voice was heard again on screen. Announcer, the Pokemon World Coronation Series Masters 8 Tournament. Featuring the top-ranked Masters 8, it determines the top Pokemon trainer, making it the greatest tournament on the planet. Now, who will be the competitor deemed the World Coronation Series winner and the Pokemon World Champion? Let's start by introducing the Masters 8 who have secured their positions among the thousands of trainers in the world. The world was in shock and awe after listening to the announcer's speech, and they couldn't believe such a tournament was being held which will decide the Pokemon World Champion. The very strongest trainer in the world and the chosen strongest Master 8 trainers from every region among thousands of trainers. People became intrigued and were impatient to know the identities of those trainers. Everyone paid attention to it, as they all wanted to know the 8 strongest trainers of the world. And besides, what they do know is that this tournament will give birth to the most strongest trainer in the world, so it left everyone intrigued and excited to watch who will it be, with many already thinking about their ideal trainers who they idolize. With Ash and friends. ASH, you mean they are going to show us the 8 most strongest trainers from all over the world? Awesome! Says with star in his eyes, as he was excited to meet the 8 most powerful trainers in the world and see them in action. I hope we get to fight one of them in the future, buddy, and hopefully one day we will also become strong like them. Pikachu, Pikachu, nods enthusiastically, as he too wanted to fight the strongest trainers alongside his trainer and show them their strength. Misty, now Ash, don't forget we are going to see the top 8 strongest trainers in the whole world who competed among thousands of trainers, so I think their powers would be at a very high level, unlike we have ever seen, so to defeat them you have to get serious and it might take you a very long time to reach there. Says, reminding Ash that where he stood. Brock, Misty is right, Ash. This is after 5 years, and if those 8 trainers are really that strong, then they must be veteran trainers with around 8 to 10 years of experience. I think they might be the regional champions. Though I would lie if I would say that I am not excited and curious to know the 8 strongest trainers in the world. Misty, me too. I wish we could get to meet them. I mean, can you believe the 8 most powerful trainers are going to gather to compete for the title of the Pokemon World Champion? Brock, Pokemon World Champion. Meaning the most powerful trainer among all the regions. The one who stands above the regional champions as well. This is gonna be interesting. Misty, so it means this tournament will give birth to the most powerful trainer in the whole Pokemon world. Amazing. Says, shocked and awed by it. ASH, yeah, and even though it will take me time, but no matter what, I will become strong and one day battle those 8 strongest trainers. Right, buddy. Then one day we will become world champion. Pikachu, Pika, jumps on Ash's shoulder, fully ready to battle the best trainers of the world. Brock and Misty watched amused, as they suspected that it would take Ash years to reach at a champion-level trainer after how he lost against Gary and in Indigo League, though they had faith in him that he will become strongest. Brock, I know you will, Ash, and we will always support you. Says with a smile, though they knew how much time it will take. They don't know the shock they were going to receive in few seconds. LOL? With Professor Oak. Prof OAK, the 8 strongest trainers from all over the world. Now this is interesting. This will really be the biggest event held in the Pokemon tournament history. Now I really want to see the 8 strongest trainers and the type of Pokemon they will use. Excited. Tracy, I can agree, Professor. Gary, yeah, and clenches his fist, determined whoever they might be. I will be sure to be able to fight one of them, and if this is in the future, then I would try my hardest to be one of those. I want to test myself with those 8 strongest. Prof OAK, smiles, I know you will do your best. You and Ash both will become strong, and who knows, one day you both will get a chance to fight one of them and even the world champion. We will see the crowning of the world champion. I am excited. Although I think all those would be champions. Gary, yeah. It's the most logical, because who would be the 8 strongest trainers in the world removing the champions? Although one day I would. Says determined. Prof Oak and Tracy nod when the doorbell rings and Delia had arrived with Mr. Mime joining them on the couch. With Kanto Jado high command. To say that they were stunned would be an understatement. They couldn't believe they were going to see the 8 strongest trainers in battle when a loud cheer interrupted them. Gucho, cheers, I can't believe. The Project World Coronation Masterclass is a huge success. Agatha, what do you mean Gucho? Gucho, the Masterclass tournament. It's a tournament the PLA is planning in the future where the strongest 8 trainers from all over the world will gather to compete against each other for the title of Pokemon World Champion. This tournament will be the biggest tournament in the history of Pokemon tournaments. I can't believe it will be a success. I can't wait to watch how this goes. Karen, so that means we are really seeing the future and now we will see the 8 strongest trainers of the world compete against each other, huh? Gucho nods. Gucho, yes, and the winner will be crowned the world champion. The most strongest trainer in the whole world. More stronger than a regional champion. Everyone were in awe and shock as they look at screen, intrigued with seriousness as they wanted to see the Master 8. Lance looks at the screen serious and determined, the Master's 8. The most powerful among the world. Everyone look at Lance who looks determined. I want to compete in this. I want to test myself with the 8 strongest trainers. Let's see who are they. Everyone smiled at that. Lorelei, well, knowing you might be one of them, Lance. They all agree as Lance smiles while looks at the screen. Koga, well, if they are the 8 strongest from the world, then it might be that they will also represent different regions. Let's see how this goes, and if Lance has won them, and if he wins, then Kanto and Jado will really gain fame together. Everyone agree on this. In Hoenn, Steven and Wallace were stunned like everyone as they watched the screen with the elites. Wallace, the Master's 8, huh? Which means the 8 most strongest trainers in the world ready to battle against each other for the title of Pokemon World Champion. Phoebe, this is seriously a very huge deal. I mean the 8 strongest gathered from all over the regions. They will not only show their strength but represent their own regions as well. Drake, yeah. I can't wait to know who they are, and this confirms it's really showing us the future or 5 years from now. Steven, yeah, and looks determined. I want to compete in it as well. The 8 strongest trainers from the whole world, which means their bonds will be strong as well, and those trainers with strong bond and will power urge me to fight them. I can't wait to know those Masters 8. Glacia, well, who knows, you might be in it, Steven. And if you are, then you will fight the other 7 strongest trainers of the world. This will not be easy. Steven nods. With Maple Family. Norman, the 8 strongest trainers gathered to compete from all over the world. Interesting. Then smirks, I would really like to see this. Max, yeah, me too. And I know the Hoenn champion Steven Stone will be one of them and he will win. Says, cheering for his idol. Even May and Caroline were intrigued to watch the top 8 strongest trainers from all over the world fight, as they all also looked forward to seeing their champion Steven shine in this. In Sinnoh region, Cynthia and her Elite Four were stunned by the announcement, and then they were really excited to see the 8 strongest trainers in the world. Cynthia, the 8 strongest trainers in the world competing for the title of World Champion. This is interesting and I would surely like to compete in this as well. Says with excitement as Cynthia really looked forward to battle the strongest trainers and test herself against them to know where she stood. Today she is known as a very strong champion among other regions as well due to her power. She battles many trainers but they don't give her the thrill she needs. Aaron, I agree. And the winner will be crowned the world champion, and I am sure you will be one of them. Flint, yeah, and we will cheer you on, champion. You will win. Cynthia nods in appreciation. Lucian, but we must not forget that you will have to fight the most strongest trainers, so you will have to be very careful. Cynthia, and that is what makes it more interesting. I really would like to know those 8 great trainers. Looks at the screen. In Veilstone City. Reggie, stunned. Wow, this is really a big event. The 8 strongest trainers from the world ready to compete for the title of World Champion. Paul looks at the screen seriously and clenches his fist, saying in a soft voice, the 8 masters, huh? Reggie looks at his little brother, the 8 strongest trainers from the whole world, and I would really like to enter it. I want to fight those 8 strongest master trainers. Reggie, I know you would. But remember, Paul, they are the 8 strongest, so their power would be at an unpredictable level. You would have to train a lot. Paul nods, still determined to compete in it, and if this is really 5 years later, then this would be his new goal. To be one of the Master 8. In Twinleaf Town. Johanna, the most strongest Master 8 trainers from all over the world, huh? Says intrigued. Dawn, wow, so it means the most strongest 8 are gathered to battle against each other. Johanna, yeah, and Dawn, you should pay close attention. They are not coordinators, but they are the strongest 8 trainers of the world, and I think you should know the level of powers between an elite trainer, and they can help you learn many things. Dawn nods as she turns to the screen, really wanting to know the 8 strongest trainers and see if she could learn anything from it to put into the contests. In Unova, Alder was surprised to know that the 8 strongest was going to compete for the title of World Champion. Sydney, wow! This is really a big event. Marshall, yeah, and we will see the 8 strongest trainers in the world competing against each other. Alder, even I want to know about them. Alder was clearly interested to know the 8 strongest and perhaps have a battle as well. Caitlin, who knows, you might as well be a member in it, Alder. In Village of Dragons, Iris and Drayden were stunned by the words as they were going to see the strongest 8 trainers. Iris, wow! I wish we also get to see many dragon Pokemon in action, and who knows, one of them might be a dragon trainer, right Axu? One day I wish to fight one of them. Axu nods. Drayden, the 8 strongest trainers, huh? Looks at the screen serious. In Kalos, the Kalos champion and the Elite Four were stunned by those words, and this made them really intrigued to see the battle as they wanted to know the power of the 8 strongest. Malva, this is interesting. So we are going to see the 8 strongest trainers in the world. Who knows, we might see Mega Evolution in it as well. Seabold, yeah, I clearly want to know about them. Right, champion? Dintha, yeah, and if the 8 strongest are gathered to compete for the title of the World Champion, then I wish to compete as well. Says with determination. Drasna, who knows, you might be one of them, champion, but remember, if you are one of them then you have to careful because you are going to compete against the 8 strongest. Diantha nods, looking at the screen. Gulwar City. Palermo and Arya were stunned by those words and they were interested. Palermo, well, now I really want to see those 8 strongest trainers. But seriously, did they had to stop our events only because of this? Says annoyed. Arya, yeah. Though Arya didn't know much about battles, she was clearly intrigued by them, and this was at a whole another level, and not even Kalos League could match up to this. At Lumiose City. Clement, the 8 masters, huh? Says, looking at the screen. Meyer, this will be interesting. In Vanivel Town. Serena and Grace were also interested by this as they too wanted to know about them. Grace, serious, the 8 strongest trainers competing against each other. In Alola. Prof. Kukui and Samson Oak were shocked, and so were the students as when they heard the announcer's words. Prof. Kukui, the 8 strongest trainers going to compete against each other. Samson, yeah, and one of them will be the world champion. This is intriguing. I want to know about them. Do you think Alola will be in this? Prof. Kukui, I doubt about it. We don't have a league or a champion, and I don't think we have a trainer that could match the power of the champions. And be in it. Says with a frown on his face. The class Kiawe, Lily, Mallow, Lana and Sophocles were also discussing about it. Kiawe, think about all those strong trainers. Sophocles, what's the point? I know Alola will not be in it. Mallow, our region protector Royal Mask be in it? I mean, we all know how strong he is, and in all of Alola only he is the perfect fit for this. Kiawe, I agree with Mallow on that one. Says with a nod. Lily, I don't think so. He is strong, but I don't think he is powerful enough to face a champion, and those trainers could be the regional champions. Lana, I wish someone will be there to represent us. All the Alola was intrigued to watch this, though they wished someone would represent their region too, though Alola was only known for vacation and not battling. Gladion was looking at the screen seriously, wanted to know the power of the Masters 8, and so were the island kahunas. In Galar. Leon, after hearing the announcement, was surprised, which soon turns to a grin as he looked the most excited, while all his seriousness about the danger had turned to smoke. Leon, the Masters 8, which means the most strongest gathered to compete from all over the regions. Clenches his fist, determined, we have to participate in this tournament, Charizard. We would get to compete against the strongest trainers of the world, and who knows, one of them would give me a battle I am waiting for after all these years. Maybe one of them would make me feel excited and thrilled to battle them. Charizard nods, clearly determined to compete and test his strength against the most powerful trainers of the world and show them how powerful he is. He was excited as well. Leon was known the undefeatable champion, as no one was able to defeat him. No one got to pass through his 2 Pokemon, so he didn't feel the thrill and excitement in the battle. He always wanted to find a trainer who would come close to defeating him and give him the thrill which even his childhood friend Raihan couldn't provide. Every champion was looking forward to this, as being a regional champion they didn't get the thrill they want, as they had already reached a certain height in Pokemon battling, so knowing that there will be opponents who can give you a battle and could defeat you as well makes you excited, and with a little bit of fear as well. Announcer, now introducing the Master 8 trainers starting from below. The 8th-ranked trainer. He is known as the champion of the very first Alola League tournament, or in other words the Alola Regional Champion. A pillar of blue light appeared on one of the platforms on the stage as a figure climbs up. Many were surprised to know that Alola region had a champion who would be one of the Masters 8 and they had established the league. People in all over the world were getting impatient to know about the Master 8 trainers. With Professor Oak. Prof. OAK, surprised wow. So Alola region will finally have a league and its very own champion, huh? Samson will really be shocked by this. With Kanto Jado High Command. Lance, surprised, so it looks like Alola will have its own league and a champion in the future. Gucho, I am surprised as well. Agatha, he is the very first champion of Alola and to be one of the Master 8 strongest trainers in the world he might be quite strong cause not only a trainer becomes a champion a league which has recently been established but he also scores himself a spot in the Master. They all were intrigued to know about him. In Alola. After listening to the speech, the Alola region was beyond shocked because not only were they going to have a league and their own regional champion in the future but the said champion will also be a part of the Master 8 tournament. Prof. Kukui, stunned. I don't know to be shocked on what. That we would have our own regional champion and a league or the fact that the champion will be in the Masters 8. Samson, well, miracles do happen. It means that he will be the representative of our region and if he became the world champion then the Alola region will reach greater heights. And it also clears the fact that we are indeed seeing the future on screen or 5 years later precise. Prof. Kukui, yeah, now I am intrigued to know about him. Let's see what our future champion can do? Sophocles, shocked, so we will really have our own regional champion in the future. Kiawe, serious, I hope whoever he is, would make the region proud. Let's see how powerful our champion is? Mallow, to secure a position in the Masters 8, he must be quite powerful. With Island Kahunas. Hala, so it looks like we have a champion in the future. Olivia, is it good to have a league system here or a champion? We know Alola has different traditions. Says a little bit worried. Nanu, I see no problem. Island Challenge is also about getting the strongest trainer in Alola and champion is also the strongest in the region. Hala, indeed. Let's watch and see. I am intrigued to see our new champion is and wonder if she can carry the responsibility of protecting Alola in his her shoulders. With that everyone turned their attention to the screen with intrigue. Announcer, coming from Pallet Town in the Kanto region, the Alola champion at a age of 16. Participant Ketchum. Ash Ketchum emerged from the pillar of blue sparkling light with Pikachu on his shoulder waving towards the crowd which cheers for the Alola champion who would be representing both Alola Kanto and Alola together as his origin region is Kanto. Grins excited, let's do it. Pika. Note, just imagine that the mechanics were not shown from the picture for later surprise. To say that the world was surprised was an understatement. The identity of the 8 Master showed many trainers as they looked at him and saw that he was quite young to be in the position like that, but still they were surprised that he was the 8 Master and a regional champion as well. Many were also staring at him in disbelief as well, and the world was surprised to know that the Alola regional champion was originally from Kanto instead of Alola, while the Kantonians were also shocked but then smiled as they had a representative who will also involuntarily represent Kanto as well in the Master Tournament. Those who knew him mostly being from Kanto and Orange Islands and a girl from Kalos were surprised to see the boy as the 8th Master. With Ash's friends. To say that they were shocked was an understatement as Ash and Pikachu were staring at his future self in disbelief and shock while Brock and Misty looked at the screen as if then had seen Arceus descend. They were too stunned to react when Misty fainted from the shock and Brock was standing like a lifeless statue as Pikachu awakened Misty with a shock and when the words registered to them. Ash, Brock, Misty, waha it. Their yelling scared the shit out of the forest Pokemon. Ash, I am one of the Masters 8 and a champion as well? Says excited with stars in his eyes as Pikachu was happy as well to see himself in the screen. Brock, I can't believe this. Ash is a regional champion. Misty, and a member of the Masters, the 8th strongest trainer in the world surpassing all the elites and veteran trainers. Says in awe and shock as they both looked at Ash who was staring at the screen happy with star in his eyes. Brock, and we were ridiculing him for thinking of challenging the Masters 8 of the world when he himself is a member. Misty, but how can he improve so soon to become the best 8 trainers in the world? I really found it hard to believe. Seeing Ash on screen shocked them to their core. Brock, then suddenly smiles softly, so he really achieved his dream like he always said. Whether we believe it or not, he is there and what we should do is support him as friends. Misty, yeah. Then she looks at the ground in shame, and now I really regret calling him idiot and bad stuff. To see him competing in such a big event as the 8th strongest trainer in the world and a regional champion. Looks at the screen. Brock, yeah, I know how you feel. So he becomes a champion in coming 5 years, which means. Misty, we have to make sure he is fit to be a champion and give him a hard training. Support him till the end because one of our friend will fight for the title of the world champion, so we have to prepare him for that. Brock, you are right. In Pallet Town. Professor Oak dropped the glass of water he was holding on seeing Ash being announced the Alola champion and the 8 master while Tracy fell on his butt and Gary fell from the crouch in shock at seeing the boy who he always called an idiot competing in the Masters 8 as a regional champion while Delia was too stunned to react. Then after a moment smiles excitedly. Delia, I knew you always had it in you, son. I am glad you achieved your dream. Then Professor Oak burst out laughing. Prof OAK, well, what do you know? I knew you had it in you, Ash. To see a trainer from Pallet Town competing in the Master 8 is really an honor, and as a professor who gave him his first Pokemon, I am really proud of him. Congratulations, my boy. Tracy, smiles. I knew he would be successful, but so soon and at such a big tournament I didn't expect that. I wish him luck though. Why Alola? I mean, why not Kanto? Prof OAK, who knows, but seeing him there makes me proud. And now he is not only gonna represent Alola but Kanto as well. Gary, after coming out of his shock, Ash, you better not be slacking off this time. Clenches his fist. You have to win for the sake of the Kanto region. Though Gary couldn't believe that Ash Ketchum surpassed him and became one of the Masters 8, and he was angry at himself for that. Gary, how can he become a member of the Masters 8 in the future? What happened to me? Am I truly surpassed by the one who I thought was weak? How strong are you in the future, Ash? I really want to see what makes you in the Masters 8. Whispered Gary as he stared intently at the future Alola champion. With Sinnoh High Command. Lance, the Alola champion is from the Kanto region? Shocked. This is quite shocking. Lorelei, wait, I know him. Everyone look at him surprised. Gucho, yeah, even me. Was surprised to find that boy there. He participated in Kanto Pokemon League this year and came in top. Lorelei, and we battled in the Orange Islands. Though he couldn't defeat me, that boy had a lot of potential. To see him in the Masters 8 and as a regional champion is quite surprising. Agatha, though I must say, why in Alola? Why not succeed in Kanto? Lance, well then we have to find him. It's incredible how he managed to become a champion at the age of he would be the youngest champion to be known, although it is in the future. And if he is in the Masters 8 then he must be quite strong, and because he from one of my region, smiles, I have to find that boy cause I can already see the potential in him. With Hoenn, Steven and all the others were surprised to see such a young champion as the 8th master. It was hard to believe that someone so young can be a champion of a region and be in Masters 8 as well. Sydney, he is just a teen. Says in disbelief. To reach at such a position among thousands of trainers at such a young age is surprising. Phoebe, he is the 8th strongest trainer. Indeed surprising. Steven, it looks like it. Well, we can't judge someone by appearance or age. I am sure that boy must have quite the ticks up his sleeve for him to achieve a spot in the Masters. The elites nod as Wallace too agreed with Steven, but inside everyone had their doubts about him. The Maple family was looking in disbelief at the boy as well, cause they suspected everyone of the Masters 8 to be adult trainers, but it did surprise them. In Sinnoh region. To say that Cynthia was shocked would be an understatement as well, cause the Sinnoh champion and the elites were looking at the screen in astonishment. Aaron, this is a joke, right? Flint, doesn't look like it. Let's see how strong is this boy. Cynthia, I must say we are getting many surprises today. I don't know what is in store for us next in this future. Looks at the screen though. I would like to say that I am curious too about the boy's skills and talent. After all, he is representing today's generation as well and a regional champion being in Masters 8. The Unova region was surprised as well as Alder was looking at the screen stunned, while same can be said about the Kalos region where Diantha was surprised seeing how young Ash was, yet he was in the Masters, while a certain blonde girl did recognize the boy. Serena, wait. Ash was shocked to see the boy on she had a crush on the screens in the top 8. Mom looks at Grace. He is the same boy that saved me in the woods in Professor Oak's summer camp. Grace, really? Was surprised as she looks at the boy with a calculating look. So this is the same boy you love and couldn't stop talking about, huh? Serena blushes in embarrassment. MOM. In the Alola region. To say that the people of Alola were shocked would be an understatement, cause not only was their champion a teenage boy, but he was from the Kanto region instead of their own. Though many were intrigued by the boy and wanted to see his strength, half of the public was not happy with the representative cause they wanted someone to be from Alola and not Kanto, and that boy was a kid, not an experienced adult champion, so how was he going to compete? While some had faith in the boy and were hoping he would take the region to higher ranks. Prof Kukui, he is the champion. Looks at the boy in disbelief. Samson, apparently it looks like it. Prof Kukui, I don't think we could win if he is our champion cause he is just a kid and moreover he might fight some very experienced trainers in the tournament. I had high hopes for our champion. Samson, now Kukui, we can't judge him by his appearance. We should at least give him a chance. 'Cause no matter what the end fact is that he is our champion and is representing Alola, so we have to trust him. Kukui nods. With class. Kiawe, angry, is this a joke? Not only does he belong to Alola but he also a kid just like us. If he going to represent us then we are doomed from the start. Says resigned. Sophocles, I agree with Kiawe. I don't think he can win. Mallow, I think the royal mask would have been better than him. Frowns looking at him. Lily, but I think we should try to trust him at least. We don't know how powerful he can be. Lana, I agree. He would not be in the Master 8 if he wasn't strong. Don't forget those trainers are chosen among thousands. This made the trio become silent. Announcer, and now ranking the 7th rank in the Masters tournament. With that a pink pillar of light emerged on the another spot, just right to the young Alola champion. Announcer, with the goal of becoming a Dragon Master coming from the village of dragons in Unova. The young Unova champion in the age of 17 who continues to grow. Participant Iris. The pink pillar of light came to an end as Iris emerged jumping with excitement as the crowd cheers for her. Iris, smiles excited thank you all. Then turns to Ash with a determined smile which Ash returns one of his own as they nod at one another. Once again the Pokemon Masters tournament surprised everyone with another young trainer of the Masters 8, though what surprised them is that she is the Unova champion, which means Alder was defeated, and everyone did catch the interaction between the two champions, which made them question what relationship did the two have. With Ash and friends. Misty, do you know her, Ash? Ash, no. I don't know who she is. Brock, I think they might know each other in the future. Though I must say she is really excited to be a champion. Misty was happy for the girl. She, despite her childish attitude, looks quite strong. She will go far as a trainer, I can tell. With Kanto Jado High Command. Bruno, another teen. Says surprised. Lorelei, so she also wants to be a Dragon Master. Just like you, Lance. Lance smiles while looking at Iris. Yeah. Let's see how strong she is, and if she really has the potential then I might give her a few tips and guide her on the road of being the Dragon Master as an instructor. Agatha frowns. Yeah, but that childish attitude doesn't help with her position. Let's see how do those two perform. Gucho, and it seems Alder is going to lose his position soon as the Unova champion. Everyone agreed on that. People from Unova were surprised as they came to a conclusion that Alder will soon lose his position as the Unova champion, and it didn't help few trainers, one of them being a boy. Trip, so someone else managed to defeat you before me, huh? It doesn't matter because after this I have a new goal, and that is to secure a spot in the Masters 8 and show that Cantonian Booney how veterans play. Trip was not very fond of Kanto trainers. With Unova High Command. Chantal, so she is the future Unova champion, huh? She is quite young as well. Caitlin, how do you feel about this, Alder? Alder, curious I can say. I mean, I had expected I would be defeated sooner or later, and I think the time has come for me to retire, though I would not go down without a battle, and I would really like to know how strong is that girl. I think, when this is over I will meet with her and instruct her myself. The elites were surprised but smiled. Marshall, they said she is from the village of dragons. Alder, well then I will surely find the future Unova champion then and teach her a little bit of DSPLN. With Iris. Iris was excited to see herself on screen as the Unova champion and one of the Masters 8. Iris, look Axu, we are going to be the Unova champion in the future and compete in the Masters 8 as well. Axu was excited as well. Village Elder and Drayden were surprised to see her there. Drayden, it seems she really improved in the future. Elder, smiles, it seems like it. Drayden, well, I think I should instruct her on how to act like a champion then. She needs some DSPLN. Though I am curious about the relationship with the Alola champion. Iris, the said girl looks at Drayden, do you know the Alola champion? Iris, shakes her head no. I don't know him. Drayden frowns. Announcer, now the trainer ranked on the 6th position. A pillar of purple light emerged next to Iris as a figure was ascending on stage. Announcer, an adventurer as well who is famous for his Mega Evolution excavations. The winner of the Kalos League Lumiose Conference at the age of participant Alan. The pillar of light stopped shining as Alan stepped up on the stadium stage. Alan looked at Ash with a small smile which Ash reciprocated with a smirk. Again the world was surprised by an young adult, at least he did pass the teenage. Though the world was surprised that he was not a champion but a Kalos League winner, and the title Mega Evolution Excavation caught an interest of many people while the boy himself was surprised. Alan, what am I doing on screen? Says with a frown as the leagues and tournaments were not his game. He already had too much to work on rather than waste time on collecting league badges, and one of them would be saving Marin's Chespy. Why would I participate in the Masters 8 and what changed? His partner Charizard was also looking curiously at his trainer on screen, surprised to see his trainer in a league, though Pokemon was excited internally. Alan, and how do I know the Alola champion? And why did I participate in that tournament? In Kalos Sycamore Laboratory. Professor Sycamore was surprised seeing his former assistant on screen in the Masters tournament and couldn't help but look on with pride at the Kalos League winner, knowing he will cheer Alan on. Sycamore, I am glad you decided to explore new things, Alan. With Kalos High Command. Dintha, looks at Alan, intrigued. Kalos League winner, huh? So we have someone representing Kalos. Seabold, it looks like it. Let's see how far that kid goes, though he seems to be the most mature among those three. Malva, yeah, and Mega Evolution caught quite a interest. Do you think he is one of those bearer? Dintha, might be. He is from our region, so we have to search for him. Says with stern glance at Alan. With Sinnoh High Command. Cynthia looked at the three new figures with quite a interest. Cynthia, it looks like the new generation has quite a talent. Bertha, yeah, those three are newly trainers who managed to get in one of the greatest tournaments in the history. Cynthia, I think we should name them the three rookies. Those three seem to have a lot of potential. Everyone agreed on that. Announcer, now the trainer who is ranked number A pillar of white light appeared on the right side of Alan as a figure starts to emerge. Announcer, she is a world-famous actress. She is capable of putting up a good fight, the Kalos regional champion. Participant Diantha Carne. The white pillar disappeared, revealing the champion, who made a humble greeting gesture with her arms. The world except Galar and Alola was excited to see the Kalos regional champion Diantha being ranked number 5, as most of the world knew about Kalos champion's power. Lance, Steven and Cynthia smiled seeing Diantha, while Alder looked with interest and Leon analyzed her if she could give him the challenge he always wanted. In Kalos. On seeing their favorite regional champion, all the people of Kalos erupted in cheer seeing Diantha, as many were staring at their idol with star in their eyes. The Kalos region really admired their champion but were also surprised she was ranked 5. With Elite 4. Malva, smiles, looks like you have earned yourself a spot in the championship's champion. Seabold, congratulations champion. Wickstrom, now you have to be careful. Looks like you are going to fight the 7 strongest trainers from all the regions. Dintha, yeah. And I am honored to see myself on screen. I can't wait to fight all the other 7 trainers. Says determined and excited. The Kalos people involving Clement, Meyer, Shauna, Trevor and Tierno erupted in cheer, so did Palermo and Aria, while other regional champions smiled seeing Diantha. Announcer, now the trainer who is ranked number A pillar of orange light appeared on the left side of Diantha as a figure starts to emerge. Announcer, the famous champion of Kanto and Johto, the leader of the G-Men group and a champion who doesn't allow evil. The pillar of light stopped showing the dual regional champion. Announcer, participant Lance Wataru. The people of Kanto and Johto erupted in cheer looking at the dual champion Lance, as they were excited to see him ranked number 4 most powerful trainer in the world. Diantha, Steven and Cynthia smiled seeing another familiar champion, and people were also surprised learning his second job, and their admiration for him grew as well. With Ash and friends. ASH, champion Lance. Was excited to see his favorite champion on screen. Misty, so it looks like our regional champion is entering the tournament too, huh? Says excited. Brock, yeah, this has become interesting. And it's really awesome knowing that the champion helps so much in fighting against the evil organizations. What they didn't know was that shock they will get when they will come to know who fights them really. With Prof Oak. Gary, Lance. Finally I will see my idol champion battle. Prof Oak, interesting. So they all will champions, leaving the one on the 6th spot. With Kanto Johto High Command. Every Elite 4 member turned towards the champion looking at him with a proud smile, while the champion himself was shocked to see himself in the tournament. Bruno, congrats Lance. Looks like you really are participating in the tournament. Karen, of course he would. Lance would like to test himself with the strongest. Good luck Lance, you are going to face some of the strongest trainers in the world? Lance, yeah I would. And I can't wait to show the world the power of the Kanto Johto champion. We will emerge victorious. Meanwhile in Blackthorn. Claire, I can't believe he is taking all the spotlight here and he didn't even tell me. Says pouting, not knowing that his cousin was a member of the G-Men. Announcer, now the trainer who is ranked the 3rd strongest in the world. A pillar of green light emerged next to Lance as a figure starts to emerge. Announcer, the successor of the Devon Corporation in the Hoenn region, the Hoenn region champion. The pillar of light ended showing the figure who bowed towards the audience showing his good manners. Announcer, participant Stephen Stone. The champion's fans, especially many girls, erupted in cheer seeing the famous Hoenn champion, as the other region champions smiled at seeing Steven ranked third in the world ASUS. With Hoenn high command. Steven was shocked at seeing himself in the Masters tournament and then smiled as he was ready to face all the other master trainers in the tournament. Phoebe, congrats champion, you are ranked the third strongest trainer in the world. Wallace, laughs, I knew you had it in no. Good luck mate, cause you need it, the 8 most powerful are gathered and you are going to face the other 7 strongest. Steven, This will also give me time to analyze my opponents and prove myself against the greatest trainers. Let's see how much I have improved. Says while looking at his future self. With Maple family. Max, looks with star in his eyes champion Steven. Norman, our champion is ranked third This will be interesting. May and Caroline also smiled looking at the champion with a smile. Announcer, now the trainer who is ranked second strongest in the world. A pillar of yellow light emerged on the right side of Steven as a figure starts to emerge. Announcer, she has the authority over the Pokemon archaeology, also known as the Sinnoh Queen, defending her title of the Sinnoh Champion for many years. The pillar of light stopped as the figure emerged with a smile. Announcer, participant Cynthia Sharona. The Sinnoh people immediately erupted in cheer on seeing their champion ranked with the second position in the world, as Diantha, Lance, Steven, and Alder were surprised seeing the Sinnoh champion, and they all smirked, already knowing how interesting this tournament will be, but were also surprised to learn she was second and couldn't help but be curious about who is first. With Sinnoh high command. Bertha, well looks like you will having the time of your life at the Masters tournament. Cynthia. I wish you good luck in the tournament because only the greatest trainers have gathered there. Flint, yes, show them the power of the Sinnoh region. Cynthia, indeed I will try my best. This tournament is going to be tough, that's for sure. Let's see how far can I go. Says with little nervousness and excitement as she was going to face the best of the best. Lucian, good luck champion because only the strongest have gathered in this tournament. In Veilstone City. Paul, no wonder she is the second strongest. Says with clenched fists. Announcer, and now. Finally the lights went out as a reddish pillar erupted in the middle of the stage, colored lights appeared giving it a more beautiful touch. Announcer, welcome the trainer who is ranked number, he is the Galar champion and the hero of the region, currently ranked as the undefeated champion of the Pokemon Championships. Soon a figure starts to emerge. The lights went out and the spotlights concentrated on the center of the stadium as a man in cape was shown doing his famous champion pose. Announcer, participant Leon. Leon, shouted the people of Galar, who erupted in cheers as they saw their favorite champion at the number first rank in the world. With Leon. Leon looked on with a smile with his Charizard. Leon, the people of Galar really love us, right? Charizard nods, then bring it on. Clenches his fist determined, let's see what all those powerful trainers can do and if they can finally give me a match I was waiting for years. This is gonna be awesome. Charizard roared, firing its flamethrower, ready to show those trainers its powers and ready to take on their powerful Pokemon. With Sonia. Sonia looked at the future Leon with an affectionate smile, when she saw a shadow appear behind him which was more like a child. Or she could say Leon as a child. Sonia, come on Leon. Show them what a true champion you really are. Says with a smile. Cantojado high command. Lance, so he is Leon. The most powerful trainer in the world, Bruno, yeah, we will see about that in the tournament. Agata, let's hope for great performances. And we can see what are the power levels of the other champion, especially Leon. Charles looked at Galar champion with a smile, already knowing that other champions would have a very hard time defeating Leon. So we will see the power of the undefeated champion in the world. Just like them, all the other veteran trainers, champion and elites were curious at how powerful Leon truly was and how will everyone face him. Announcer, these are the world's top 8 strongest trainers of the world, or should I say the Masters 8, all gathered here at the Winden Stadium. This will show us the true power of the Pokemon World Championship, such a miraculous moment. Today, the undefeated Monarch, champion Leon, and the 7 other competitors will all have their first matches. Leon, a word, perhaps? Leon, take your best shot. My Pokemon will defeat everyone standing in their way. Crowd, cheering. Announcer, and now, we're going to reveal the matches for the first round. The screen rolled to choose who's going against who. The first were Leon and Alan. Announcer, for the first match, it's Leon versus Alan. Alan and Leon stare at each other, clearly determined to win. Leon, so we are going to face one of those rookie trainers, This will be interesting. Says with a smirk, show me what you have got, kid. His Charizard roars, wanting to face that kid's most strongest Pokemon and beat him up. In Kalos. Diantha, so the Kalos representative is going to face the undefeated champion of Galar. Drasna, yeah. Now we will see how much potential that kid has and how powerful Leon truly is. Everyone nodded in agreement. With Alan. Alan, he was surprised by the matchup, so I am facing the undefeated champion in the first round, huh? Let's see how this goes. His Charizard roars, ready to defeat anyone who stand in their way of winning. Announcer, and for the second match. Screen shows, Lance vs Diantha, it's Lance vs Diantha. Crowd cheers as Diantha turned to Lance with smiles as Lance bowed a respect to her. In Kalos. Malva, so you are against the 2 regional champion, huh? Wickstrom, be careful, from what I have heard Lance is a serious dragon trainer and has won many battles. His power is tough. Dintha, I will keep it in mind. Let's see how much power does the Kanto Johto champion has. Kanto Johto High Command. Agatha, so it's Kanto Johto versus Kalos, huh? Be careful, Lance, Diantha is pretty tough opponent. Lance, I can't wait to fight her. Let's see how good the Kalos champion is. Says with a smirk. Announcer, in the third match. Cynthia vs Iris. Iris, gasps, me and Cynthia? Cynthia, go easy on me. Sinnoh High Command. Cynthia, it seems I am fighting one of the other rookie. Interesting. Flint, yeah, we can see how much potential the new Unova champion has. Cynthia, I hope she will prove out to be a good challenge. In Unova. Marshall, so she will be fighting against the second strongest champion Cynthia, huh? Chantal, yeah, let's see how she will face the second strongest Sinnoh champion. It's like Sinnoh versus Unova matchup. Alder, looks at the screen seriously, let's see how much potential you have. With Iris. Iris was worried by the matchup. Iris, great, I am already facing the second strongest trainer already. Says sarcastically. Drayden, frowns then looks at the screen, let's how powerful your future self truly is. Announcer, for the fourth match. Ash vs Steven Stone, it's Steven Stone vs Ash Ketchum. Ash Ketchum, so I'm battling Steven Stone. Pikachu, Pika. Steven Stone, so we finally get to battle each other. Ash nods satisfied. In Hoenn. Steven, so I am facing the new rookie and the very first champion of Alola. Interesting. Now I will see how strong you truly are. Wallace, well, you have it good. Let's see how much potential does that rookie have. Glacia, it will be like a regional matchup, Alola Kanto versus Hoenn. With Maple Family. Max, yeah, our champion will crush that kid. Norman, frowns, Hoenn champion versus Alola champion. Let's see who wins this. With Professor Oak. Profo AK, so Ash will be facing the Hoenn champion, huh? Gary, great. He better not slack off there. This will finally show me how powerful Ash of the future truly is. Delia, I know my son can do it. Says with full confidence. With Ash and friends. ASH, so I am going to face the Hoenn champion Steven Stone. I can't wait for the battle to begin. Misty, now calm down Ash, remember you will be fighting the third strongest trainer in the world, so don't get too confident. Brock, beating Steven will not be easy. Misty, tell me Brock. All the best champion Shave gathered there. Would Ash be able to defeat trainers like Cynthia, Lance and Leon? Brock, I don't know Misty. I don't know how much powerful Hat future Ash is, so we will see. Though whatever happens I will continue to support Ash. In Alola. Prof Kukui, so Alola will fight Hoenn, huh? Well, Steven Stone is a great trainer, so this battle could be won by him. Samson, yeah, but who knows, though it will be a battle of the regions. Alola versus Hoenn, and we will see how powerful our champion? Kukui nods. The Alola students were also excited about the match. Kiawe, you better not lose and damage our reputation. Says with anger. Announcer, those are the matchups for the start of the Masters 8 tournament. Let's see who will become the world champion among these 8 master trainers of the world. Everyone in the world were excited and everyone were already supporting their respective champions. Every champion were anxious and worried at how will they perform and will they be able to win? We will see this in next chapter. End of chapter. Hi guys, so this was chapter 1 of the Pokemon reaction and I hope you like it. So giant screens appeared all over the world in various regions, confusing many people. The Masters 8 were shown on the screen and everyone were excited to see them battle for the title of world champion. Who will win? Read to find out. If you like it then please vote and comment on it. Next chapter will be released soon, till then take care guys. Author, I'll write a poll for next chapter. Which reaction do you want to see? Leon vs Alan battle or Ash's first day journey? Bye guys. Hi guys, so here is the first World Coronation Series battle and I hope you like the reaction. Note, and yeah, I have decided to not put every single line in the chapter because it will take too long, but don't worry, I will cover all the important content and battles in this. The screens had gone blank for few minutes and people were already started to get impatient and angry, yelling at the screens to go blank like that, and the PLA with the international police were working and contacting many prestigious professors to know how those screens came and how to make them work, when suddenly the screens lit up and people smiled in excitement to see the battles, as everyone from coordinators to performers, trainers, whether rookie or veteran, elites or champions, rangers or police, breeders or doctors, and Pokemon fans all around the world paid attention to it with the evil organizations. In Kalos Lumio City, Sycamore was watching the screen, very intrigued of how powerful Alan was and how will he face the undefeated champion, when he heard a voice from behind. "Professor?" Sycamore turns around and was surprised to see someone familiar. Sycamore. "Marin?" "Marin, hey Professor, when I found out that Alan was going to participate in the Masters tournament I came as fast as I could. He still hasn't returned from his search yet?" Sycamore. "Marin. No, he hasn't." Marin lowers her head in disappointment, then after few moments looks at the professor with a smile as she said, "Marin, then we have to support him in the Masters tournament even if it's from the future." Sycamore smiles and nods as they both turn towards the screens. The screen showed the matchups, which made everyone in the world excited and nervous on seeing who was facing who. Then the screen turned to the competitors' room, where everyone saw the champions Lance, Diantha, Cynthia and Steven watching the screen as Iris entered the room, and Cynthia asks, "Cynthia, is Ash coming?" Iris, no. The screen shows Ash, Go and Hop in the stands for a moment, then back to the room. Ash said he was watching the matches with Go. He wants to experience all the stadium excitement firsthand. Diantha, that does sound like him. Cynthia, and you didn't want to watch from the stands with him? Iris, oh, actually. I want to ask a favor of both of you. Takes out her Rotom phone, can we take a selfie? You don't mind, do you? Cynthia, I'd be delighted. Diantha, of course, dear. Lance, so, Steven. I hear you know Alan fairly well. Steven Stone, we met while searching for rare stones. You know. I hope it doesn't overwhelm him to suddenly be matched against Leon. Iris takes a selfie with Diantha and Cynthia. At the battlefield the crowd cheers for the first match. Once again the world caught the interaction between the champion and were surprised to know that the other champions knew about the rookies, which made them consider that they might have met somewhere in the future, which intrigued them, especially the champions themselves. With Hoenn High Command. Glacia, do you know the rookie Alan champion? Asks Steven, curious. Steven shakes his head no. But according to what the screen showed me, we must have met somewhere in the distant future, and I am curious about him on his search for rare stones. Wallace, oh Arceus. Please, one is already enough, I don't want to handle another. Steven. Says Wallace, for which Steven glared at him while the elites laugh. Phoebe, leaving that aside, I think you might know the other two rookies as well. Steven, I don't about the Unova champion Iris, but I think I might have met the Alola champion in the future as well, because he did say that, we finally get to fight. With the Sinnoh High Command. Bertha, it looks like you and Diantha have quite a friendship with the Alola and Unova champion rookies? Cynthia, was quite intrigued by it. We might have met in the upcoming future. And if we know each other, then I might have to meet those two. Same were the thoughts of the Kalos champion. With Ash and friends. Misty, wow, Ash, looks like you know quite the famous champions in the future. Ash nods, also curious about it, while Brock was depressed that his friend knew such beautiful champions. With the Galar champion. Leon smiles on hearing what the Alola champion thought, which made him curious about that kid. Leon, looks like the Alola champion share the same thought as me though. It looks like he and Hop know each other. Have they met in the future? Was curious about it, and same could be said about his little brother. In Vermilion City. We see Go and Chloe in their school, surprised looking at the 100-inch screen which had appeared suddenly replacing their classroom chalkboard, and everyone were surprised to see Go with the Alola champion. Chloe, do you know the Alola champion Go? Was surprised because she knew that Go didn't like to interact with other people much and didn't have friends other than her. No. Was stunned himself as he had so many questions. What am I doing in the Galar region, and how do I know the Alola champion? The class students also questioned Go about it, as they were too surprised that one of their classmate knew one of the Master 8 champion, to which Go became a little tense and replied that he didn't knew, as the class teacher said. Teacher, it might be that Go must have met the champion in the future. Everyone became silent while listening to the teacher's words when they remembered that it was showing the future, 5 years later, so Go must have met him in the future. Announcer, and now, for the first match of round 1. Leon and Alan came to their spots in the battlefield. Announcer, the contestants are making their entrance. Crowd, cheering. Alan stood silently while Leon removed his cape. Announcer, on TV, here's a surprise. Alan also works in Kalos as Professor Sycamore's assistant. I'm sure the professor is there watching today's battle. The screen then shows the Sycamore lab where the good old Professor Sycamore, Marin, Chespy, and Garchomp were watching the event on TV. Somewhere in Kalos, Alan looked surprised at the screen when he heard the announcer's words. Alan, wait. Did I go back to being the professor's assistant? His partner Charizard was also confused, but when they saw Marin with Chespy, they had huge smiles on their face. Alan, we did Charizard, we were able to recover Chespin's health. I am glad we achieved one of our 2 goals for the reason we left Charizard. Charizard also roared in happiness. Professor Sycamore and Marin burst into happiness when they saw Chespin fully recovered, and they were both grateful to Alan because he surely had achieved that. Marin, my Chespin is gonna be alright. Prof. Sycamore puts a comforting hand on her shoulder. I am glad. Marin nods as she looks at the screen. Thank you, Alan says in a whisper. In the stadium, the referee came down on his Aegis Lash. Referee, here are the rules for this match. Each trainer will be allowed 3 Pokemon. There is no time limit or limit on switching Pokemon. The winner will be the one who leaves all 3 of his opponent's Pokemon unable to battle. Also, a contestant can only use Dynamax, Gigantamax, a Z-move, or Mega Evolution once per match. Very well, contestants, both of you send your first Pokemon to the field. 3. Alan stood ready. 2. Leon gets ready. 1. Go. Again, the world was confused on the mechanics which were mentioned while the regions had few knowledge about the Mega Evolution. The Z-moves and Dynamax was very confusing for them. They already were curious about it and so were for the match which was about to begin as they were excited. The Galar region was fully in support of their champion who has been considered a hero for them, defending the Galar region for years and remained undefeated, so they thought that no one was going to defeat their champion, and they also thought that who would use Gigantamax other than their own champion, though they were curious about the other 2 mechanics Mega Evolution and Z-move, while Alola and Kalos thought the same. While the Kalos region was looking at its representative analyzing him and how strong will he be, though because he was representing Kalos, they were supporting him, hoping that he would make Kalos region reach greater heights. Though many didn't expect much from him. While the rest of the world was only excited and wanted to know how strong the undefeated champion was. With Ash and friends. What is Mega Evolution, Dynamax and Z-move, guys? Was curious as Misty also looked at Brock for some explanation. Brock, I don't know, though I might have heard about Mega Evolution, while the latter 2 is very new to me as well. Wait, I will search about Mega Evolution and answer. In Kanto Pallet Town. Professor Oak, Tracy, Gary and Delia listened to what the referee said. Prof. OAK, I have a feeling that this championships will show us quite the battles we have ever seen. Gary, Gramps, what are Mega Evolution, Z-moves and Dynamax? Prof. OAK, well, Mega Evolution is a phenomenon where few certain species of Pokemon enter a new temporary evolution stage where their stats are boosted at higher rate. It has double the power, and the surprise is that the Pokemon can revert back to its normal form after the battle. The 3 were shocked on learning this. Gary, wait, so you say a supplementary evolution? Professor Oak nods. Prof. OAK, yeah, but only few species can do that, but it has some requirements. The trainer needs a key stone and a specific stone for the Pokemon, which are called Mega Stones. For example, a Gardevoir's Mega Stone is called Gardevoirite. It's said that the Kanto starters can achieve Mega Evolution. This mechanic is mostly found in the Kalos region, so it's a mechanic from Kalos. Tracy, wow. Such an interesting phenomenon. I would like to see one in the Z-move? Prof. OAK, that mechanic was from the Alola region. Z-moves are very strong and powerful attacks that Pokemon can gain access to. However, Z-moves are used only once for each battle. Z-moves can be activated only with a special item called a Z-Crystal and a Z-Ring, and every type has a Z-move. For instance, a Fire-type Z-move is called Inferno Overdrive and an Electric type is called Gigavolt Havoc. Gary, so this A-move is similar to Mega Evolution, but it's a Pokemon move instead of evolution. Prof. OAK, nods, yeah, and few Pokemon also have their specified Z-move. I know about it thanks to my cousin. Tracy, and Dynamax? Prof. OAK, I don't know about that mechanic though, I think it's from the Galar region. I want to see what it does. Now they were all curious about it. Tracy, I wonder how Ash will face them, though he might have Z-move for himself as he is the champion from the said region where the Z-move originates. They were all curious about it. Delia, I hope Ash wins. I know he can do it. With Kalos High Command. The whole Kalos region was thinking that who would use the Mega Evolution besides their champion and the Kalos representative. Wickstrom, I am curious to know that whether that rookie Alan can use Mega Evolution or not. Dintha, yeah, and I too want to know about those 2 mechanics. Though I also want to know if any of those other champions can use Mega Evolution or not. They are the strongest 8, so they might have something. Everyone were curious about it. With Alola. All the Alola regions were also curious about who would use Z move other than their own champion, but they didn't see any Z bracelet on the champion's wrist, so they thought he didn't have it. Prof. Kukui, I want to know. Will we see him win or lose? Samson, I really think he must have great potential if he is our champion, so we should trust him. He shouldn't be so weak despite being so young. Says calmly. Prof. Kukui, alright then. I will try to trust him. Samson smiles. Leon and Alan, toss their Pokeballs, go. Leon, Rillaboom. Alan, Chestnut. The two ball collided with each other, releasing the two regional grass-type starters from the different region. Leon's Rillaboom and Alan's Chestnut. All the regions looked at the Kalos and Galar regional starter Pokemon with interest, indicating that a grass-type battle was about to start. They all were interested in knowing which grass-type Pokemon would be stronger, the one from Galar or the one from Kalos. With Kanto Johto High Command. Agatha, the world champion, is finally going to fight. Karen, yeah, let's see if his reputation lives up to his strength. Every Elite Four agreed. Lance, let's see how strong are you, Leon. Everyone from the regions except Galar paid attention as they wanted to know how powerful the undefeated champion was. In Galar. Leon smiled looking at his trusty Rillaboom, one of his strongest Pokemon no doubt and the one of the two Pokemon he used mostly during the battles. Since no one but the Galar region knew that the champion was only forced to use 2 Pokemon from his arsenal of 6, he had become so powerful with Charizard that no one else could even land an attack on him. Leon, let's see if you can give the battle I have wanted for so many years. Leon's Charizard also looked at Alan, wanting to face his strongest Pokemon, while also looking at Chestnut with a disappointed gaze cause he knew that he could finish that Pokemon off with only one attack. Referee, let the battle begin. Leon, now. Let's have a champion time. Alan, use Hammer Arm. Chestnut charged with Hammer Arm, but Rillaboom blocked it with its own arm. Announcer, what a heavy Hammer Arm. Chestnut fell back, but Rillaboom handled it no problem. Everyone focused on Rillaboom's stamina. The Hammer Arm move was too strong for the world champion's Pokemon to take it so easily. Everyone in the other regions began to understand little by little why Leon was called the strongest, something they did not like to admit. With Ash and friends. ASH, those Pokemon are so amazing. Says excited, and even Pikachu looked at those 2 Pokemon. Brock, they must be the starters of Galar and Kalos respectively. Misty, narrows her eyes at Rillaboom. I have to admit that was too much resistance. Says in a whisper. With Unova High Command. Alder, I don't like to admit it, but that Rillaboom really has too much resistance. This might be a problem. The other elites also looked tense at that. Leon then picked up Rillaboom's Pokeball and returned him back quickly. All the regions were surprised by the sudden change, as they all thought that why was Leon changing his Pokemon at the start of the battle. The world except Galar didn't know the surprise which awaits them. With Sinnoh High Command. Cynthia, what are you trying to do? Leon looks at the undefeated champion seriously. Bertha, I am surprised he is changing his Pokemon so early in the battle. Leon activates his Dynamax band and his Pokeball turns sparkling white. Ha! Giganta tosses his Pokeball, Max. Rillaboom pops out, and soon a storm built up in the sky and turned to pink as powerful pink rays fell upon the stadium. Announcer, there it is. Leon used Gigantamax. Gigantamax. Rillaboom banged its drums loudly while roaring. All the people except from Galar looked in shock and awe at the small Pokemon which turned to such a gigantic monster, and they couldn't help but think. So this is Gigantamax, was the thought of everyone from champions to trainers as they stare at the Gigantamax Pokemon. Now they all imagined the great power they could achieve with Gigantamax in their hands, and how will their Pokemon look in that form. It was truly an amazing ability. Leon grins. At least now the world will know the power of the Galar region and its champion. Now looks at Alan. Let's see how you counter it, kid. With Ash and friends. ASH, stunned. That's Gigantamax. Was shocked seeing the Gigantamax Pokemon as Pikachu shared the same expression. Brock, stunned. Wow. Look at the giant. Misty, I can't believe it. How much power will that Pokemon have? In Palette. Prof. OAK, oh my Arceus. Stares at Gigantamax amazed. I can't believe it. Is that the power of Gigantamax? Gary, how will Ash, or for that matter any of the champions, face such type of power? Now I am convinced why Leon is the strongest champion. With Kanto Johto High Command. Lance, so this is the power of the Dynamax mechanic, huh? It's really power if Leon uses it. Says stupefied. Koga, I wonder how will we match up to that kind of power. Was also in awe of that power, and so were the other elites. Charles for his part just had a small smile seeing how the other regions were going to see the Gigantamax power. Agatha, now that everyone is seeing it. Let's hope the evil organizations don't get their hands on it. Gucho, you don't have to worry for that part. The Gigantamax is only possible when you are in Galar, unlike the other two mechanics. Lorelei, you know about it. Gucho nods. At least you should inform us about it. And what do you mean about only available in Galar? Gucho, the Gigantamax Dynamax is only possible with the Galar particles which exist only in the Galar ground, so Dynamax is not possible outside the Galar region. This made them sigh in relief. With Hoenn High Command. Steven, I can't believe it. Stunned. So that's Gigantamax, huh? DMN, look at that Pokemon. Wallace, shocked. Wow. Look at that power. I didn't know that Pokemon battles were also fought in such a way. I can't. The enormous power champion Leon would have. Drake, this clearly shows us that Galar region is clearly a very powerful region. I wonder how many secrets it might have. Every elite nodded. Phoebe, I wonder how will you face that kind of power champion? Steven also looked at that power, hoping that his future self knew what he was facing against. With Maple family. Max, his glasses fell off his eyes from shock. Wait. That's Gigantamax. Yells shocked as no one reacted to shock to see such power. Norman, this type of power is not normal. Now I know why they call him the Undefeated. This Gigantamax is a ability to be feared. Says while looking at the Gigantamax Pokemon. May, I can't believe such thing also exists in Pokemon battles. May was very surprised to see that. With Sinnoh High Command. Cynthia, wow. Was the only thing she managed to say as she looked at the Gigantamax Rillaboom. So that's Gigantamax. I admit it's a power to be feared, really. Flint looks at it serious. Seeing this, I can't believe we haven't heard anything about it or the Galar region. How much power does it hold? In Veilstone City. Paul, what power? Says stunned. Reggie, so this is Gigantamax. I admit it's a mechanic to be feared. I wonder how they beat it. Paul, now I really want to know more about. His interest was growing seeing the Gigantamax. In Twin Leaf Town. Dawn, what kind of power-up is that? Johanna, wow. In all my life I have never seen something like this. So this is what they call Gigantamax, huh? What a unimaginable power it would have. Dawn, I wonder what it will look like in the contests. Johanna, I don't think it will be permitted in contests. Dawn. The power it has might destroy the whole contest hall. Dawn nods while looking at Gigantamax. In Unova. Alder, eyes wide. So that's Gigantamax, huh? I wonder how will others deal with that kind of power. Caitlin, I admit. Even I find it difficult to believe that this exists. Everyone in Unova were tense watching the battle, while Iris herself was tense as well, seeing the Gigantamax Pokemon as herself thought that how could she deal with it. In Kalos. Dintha, so this is Gigantamax, huh? I can agree that it's a mechanic to be feared. Seabold, do you think that Mega Evolution can deal with it? Malva, I find it difficult to agree to that. This is really a power that we should fear. In Alola. Prof. Kukui, I can't believe it. So that's Gigantamax, huh? Samson, I admit it's a power to be feared. Even Z moves are nothing compared to it. I wonder how will our champion fight against these mechanics. With Alola group. Kiawe, wow. Was the only thing he could say. Lily, in all the research I have done so far, this is something completely new to me. Mallow, do you think our champion can defeat such enormous power? Says nervously. The bad organizations already started to look at the Dynamax phenomenon with a bad eye, already making a team of members to send towards Galar to get that phenomenon and use it for their own plans, with examples being Team Rocket, Galactic and Flare. Rillaboom caused massive sound airwaves to send Chestnut to be blown back but managed to stay on its feet. Alan, Chestnut, now stand up to the attack. Chestnut collided its arms to make its shield to block the attack still. Leon, one of the duties of the champion is to make certain the crowd gets fired up. Gmax Drum Solo. Rillaboom used Gmax Drum Solo to summon roots and vines towards Chestnut. Alan, Spiky shied, go. Chestnut used Spiky Shield to defend itself as the vines got under and send it flying. Leon, you can use Spiky Shield all you want, but you still can't hold back a max move. This again shocks the world when they saw how the move Spiky Shield, which was similar to Protect, was destroyed like that, and even the champions and elites were unable to say anything. How much power did the Gigantamax have, was the question came into the minds of the millions of people when they saw the barrier being broken so easily, which only possible by using Hyper Beam or Giga Impact would also break it if it's prepared enough, but for such an simple attack to break it was something to be really worried about. All the people of Galar continued to support their honored monarch, letting all the air out of their lungs and shouting with all the might in their throats. In Veilstone City. Reggie, stun the power of Gigantamax is really terrifying. Paul, to destroy an attack that is similar to protect. I must say that Gigantamax contains a lot of force. Says seriously. With Ash and friends. ASH, guys please tell me this is unreal. Says nervously. Misty and Brock were too shocked to comment. Brock, that power is completely something else. Misty, it completely shows how powerful the world champion truly is. Says in astonishment. Marin watched with concern and Sycamore puts on a serious face. Marin, Alan is in big trouble. Says worriedly. Sycamore, I know. Marin, then had a determined face. Come on Alan, you can do it. Leon was neutral when he saw his opponent use the thorny barrier, which disappointed him because many of his opponents used such tactics to avoid dodging powerful attacks instead of facing them head-on as he looks at the screen. Leon, hope you can match the power of my Rillaboom boy. Though I like his confidence. Which made Leon smile. With Kalos high command. Dintha, I admit that I admire his confidence. Smiles. Wickstrom, yeah, but will it be enough to defeat the champion? Says with doubts. Leon, then try this on for size. Now. Max Airstream. Rillaboom used Max Airstream. Alan, use Euro Ball. Chestnut used Euro Ball to get through the attack. Announcer, Chestnut is just letting that Max Airstream flow by it. Then it made impact from under Gigantamax. Rillaboom's chin. Euro Ball is a direct hit. Alan, yes. Leon, excellent move. Everyone stared in amazement at the Chestnut that directly hit Rillaboom despite its powerful attack. It made everyone realize that Kalos boy did have talent. Leon, smiles, you really have talent boy, but if I had to let go of my Charizard then you wouldn't stand a chance. Alan, I am glad, I have become stronger in the future. Smiles, and he admits that Chestnut was a great Pokemon in his team, though I am confused as to how I received it. Maybe the professor had given me the Pokemon as I had gone back to being his assistant. Charizard was also intrigued to see his new teammate. Marin, alright, Alan managed land a hit. Sycamore only smiled with pride with facial expressions. With Johto and Kanto high command. Lorelei, I must say that the boy is incredible with great potential. Bruno, yeah, seeing how he managed to land a direct hit really shows how skillful he is. Let's see if he can make up the momentum. Lance, this really shows that we might also have a chance to defeat the undefeated champion. The other elites also agreed. With Sinnoh high command. Flint, that boy has talent. And it really shows that the other champions and you might have a chance to defeat the undefeated champion. Aaron, nods, I can agree. Cynthia, I wouldn't be so sure. Leon is given the undefeated champion title for a reason, so he might have some tricks up his sleeve. We can't underestimate him. Bertha, Cynthia is right. Alan, Pin Missile. Chestnut uses Pin Missile. Leon, use Max Quake. Rillaboom blocks the Pin Missile with Max Quake, much to Alan and Chestnut's surprise, while Rillaboom began to shrink back down to normal size. Announcer, Rillaboom has finished Dynamaxing. Everyone in the other regions noted with relief that Dynamax was temporary, unlike Mega Evolution, which only cancels out when the battle is over or the Pokemon has lost all its power. In Palette. Prof. So I guess Dynamax is temporary. This is a big relief. Gary, yeah. If it was like Mega Evolution then others would really have a big problem dealing with this Gigantamax. In Kanto Johto high command. Lance, it's a really big relief that Dynamax is not permanent for the whole battle. Agatha, I can agree on that. Now we should figure out a strategy to counter Dynamax. There might be a chance we might face it in the future. Everyone agreed to it. Alan, Euro Ball. Leon, use Acrobatics. Chestnut used Euro Ball to try and attack Rillaboom, but Rillaboom's acrobatics were too quick and swiftly for it to make impact till Rillaboom smacked Chestnut's head and kicked it back down to the floor. Alan, Chestnut. Announcer, a tremendous acrobatics attack. A direct hit with a midair move. Referee, Chestnut is unable to battle. Announcer, and Alan has lost his first Pokemon. Everyone were shocked by Alan's defeat cause it has been quick. Now they knew that Dynamax or not, Leon was still very powerful. On seeing the defeat of Alan's first Pokemon, all the people in the Galar region erupted in cheer seeing their champion winning, while the Colosians were disappointed seeing the first defeat of their representative's Pokemon. The said representative was also frustrated on seeing the defeat of his first Pokemon as Charizard looked at its trainer in concern. With Kalos high command. Dintha, now Alan is at a disadvantage. Says looking at the battle seriously. Wickstrom, and you have to be careful as well, champion, cause if you win against Lance then you have to face Leon in the battle, which will not be easy. Diantha nods, clearly serious. With Ho in command. Steven, this clearly shows us how powerful Leon truly is. With or without the Dynamax. Wallace, yeah. You have to plan your move correctly for this, Steven. This clearly shows how all the participants are very powerful. Phoebe, who knew Rillaboom could use acrobatics? Alan, great work out there. Puts Chestnut's Pokeball away, now take a good rest. Takes out another Pokeball, Charizard, go. Tosses his Pokeball. His Charizard pops out. Ready. Announcer, Alan's second Pokemon is Charizard. Everyone looked at the Charizard and were fascinated by it. They could see that the said Pokemon looked very powerful with spectacular force power. Although like the veterans ignored it and focused on the gauntlet on its neck. Many Colosian people recognized and were excited to see it as they came to a conclusion that Alan could use Mega Evolution, especially Diantha. Dintha, so I was correct. That boy really has a lot of talent. Malva, so he can use Mega Evolution as well, huh? Wickstrom, this will be interesting. Now let's see how will Leon face our regional mechanic. Lumiose City. Sycamore's eyes shone in astonishment when he saw Charizard's gauntlet, knowing that it was the same Mega Stone which helped the Pokemon reach the secret evolution. Prof. Sycamore, congratulations Alan, you have truly shown how great trainer you are. Says proudly. Now Sycamore was excited that his former student and his partner researcher of future will be able to use Mega Evolution in the future. With Alan. The said was crying tears of joy seeing the Mega Stone, which meant he also achieved all his goals in the future as he looks at his future self with a wide smile. Alan, we did it, Charizard. We achieved all our goals. Says with a smile towards his Pokemon who roared in joy. With Leon. Leon concentrated on the gauntlet on Charizard's neck as he was confused seeing what it was, while Leon's Charizard looked at that Charizard with a challenging gaze as he clearly wanted to show the other Charizard who is the boss. Leon, looks like you are quite excited, huh? Laughs at his partner's challenging gaze. Leon, I like the look on that face. Now let's see what power you have. Use Drum Beating. Rillaboom uses Drum Beating to send 2 rooted stems towards Charizard till. Alan, use Flare Blitz, let's go. Charizard uses Flare Blitz to charge in fast and sent Rillaboom flying up as it dropped its drums and drumsticks. Charizard flew back down and watched as Rillaboom fell back down on its back defeated. Announcer, that move was super effective. Rillaboom is unable to battle. Charizard took down Rillaboom. It's now even. Alan, Charizard, you did well. The Kalos region erupted in cheer on seeing the first Pokemon's defeat, while the other regions except Galar also cheered and smiled seeing the defeat of Rillaboom, as they now thought that Leon could be defeated as well. While in Galar people were surprised seeing that the rookie managed to defeat Leon's first Pokemon, even though Leon only used 2 Pokemon in the battles till now. Almost no one defeats Rillaboom, and let's not talk about Charizard, which is a true monster. They admit that the boy had great merit in that part and that his Charizard was quite powerful, only very few people could defeat Leon's Rillaboom. Leon, smiled excited, looks like he really is strong. Now I am eager to face him. Says very excited cause he had always searched for an opponent who could give him a real battle. Charizard was also excited, very eager to face his own species which belonged to that trainer. Alan, perfect. I know I could always count on you, buddy. Looks at Charizard who roars excited to win a score for his trainer. Now let's see how the champion counters it. Says excited not knowing the beatdown he will receive. Marin, way to go Alan. You can defeat him if you don't give up. Cheers happily. Sycamore, well done Alan. In another part of the Galar region, Sonia looked at the screen surprised and then smiles. Sonia, well, it looks like you would finally have what you want, Leon. She was well aware of Leon's current dream or true objective, which is to have an unparalleled battle against another trainer, cause it has been like no one has able to defeat his 2 Pokemon. Leon, thanks, Rillaboom. Magnificent. You're so strong. Puts his Rillaboom's Pokeball away and took out another, now for number 2. Tosses his Pokeball, go. His ace Charizard pops out roaring in challenge. Announcer, and champion Leon has chosen his ace Pokemon Charizard. The crowd cheers. Everyone listened to the announcement attentively and was surprised to know that the Charizard was Leon's ace partner. With no. Cynthia, so Charizard is your ace, huh? Let's see how much powerful is it. Says seriously, and same were the thoughts of other regional champions. With Ash and friends. ASH, so Mr. Leon's strongest Pokemon is Charizard, huh? Maybe you should watch this as well. Releases his own Charizard who comes out with a roar and looks at the screen with intrigue seeing 2 strong-looking Charizards. Misty, now this is interesting. Galar Champion's ace is a Kanto starter. While the 2 Charizard released a sea of flames wanting to show each other who is the better one. Alan, use Dragon Claw. Leon, Charizard, Air Slash. Both Charizard powered up their attacks and charged toward each other till Leon's Charizard dodges Alan's and used Air Slash with direct impact. Alan, if it can't get in, it's time. Charizard, return. Calls it back to its Pokeball. Announcer, look, Alan is switching out his Pokemon. Alan, tosses his next Pokeball, go. Malamar. His Malamar pops out, your power is bound to change the flow of battle. Announcer, and Alan's third Pokemon is Malamar. Most of the viewers were disappointed by Alan's choice, but the veteran trainers and experts had to agree with his choice. Even so, the tension was high as they clearly saw the skills of Leon's Charizard, which clearly showed why it was Leon's ace. A Malamar would not be the best option, was the thought of the many trainers, but they wanted to see how Alan would play his cards. With Ash and friends. ASH, what could that Pokemon be? Brock, I don't know, but I know it's from Kalos cause the trainer is from the said region. Misty, it looks like a squid, must be a water type. Said intrigued. With Hoenn region. Sydney, till now both the trainers have clearly showed us why they deserve their positions. I think you have befriended quite a trainer in the future, Stephen. Wallace, it might be that you might also shown him few tricks. Stephen, says with a frown. Alan, Psycho Cut. Malamar used Psycho Cut. Leon, Fire Blast. Leon's Charizard uses Fire Blast to stop Malamar's attacks. Alan, charge and use Throat Chop. Malamar charged to do Throat Chop till. Leon, Air Slash. Charizard used Air Slash to slow down Malamar as it dodged them. It tried to use Throat Chop, but Charizard grabbed hold of its attack tightly. Alan, gasps. Surprised. Leon, use Fire Blast. Malamar looked startled as Charizard powered up its Fire Blast and blasted Malamar with impact as it fell down to the floor defeated. Referee, Malamar is unable to battle. Announcer, and Alan has just lost his second Pokemon. Alan calls Malamar back to its Pokeball. Alan, I couldn't show you at your best. I'm sorry. The Galar people erupted in cheers seeing their champion win, while the Kalosians were disappointed. Though many people from other regions gasped when they saw how Leon's Charizard completely based Alan's Malamar. Leon, for a moment I was excited, but seeing this. Leon had a frown. It doesn't prove to be a very big challenge now. Though great work, Charizard. That boy has great Pokemon, but it isn't the battle I want. Looks like we won't find the match this time. Charizard nodded. With Kanto Jado High Command. Lance, that Charizard cancelled the attack on his own. Leon didn't even give any such instructions. Lorelei, yeah, it's as if Charizard knows what to do and it doesn't need any instructions. Koga, that Charizard has great surprises. Looks at Lance, could your Charizard beat it? Lance, no. I can agree that my Charizard can easily be defeated by him. With Sinnoh High Command. Flint, now Alan has only his Charizard left. I must say this got interesting, and as an Fire-type elite I have to admire that Leon's Charizard can be considered a monster. Bertha, yeah. To know how to counter an attack without your trainer's instructions clearly shows how powerful he is. We have to be careful. Cynthia, and Alan is now left with only one Pokemon. Though it has Mega Evolution, let's see if it can defeat Leon's Charizard, because Leon's power is really making me doubt the boy's victory, or anyone for that case. Says seriously. Veilstone City. Paul stares at the Charizard seriously. That Charizard really packs power. I doubt that boy could win. Reggie, let's see, but I think you have a point. Alan tosses his Pokeball, go Charizard. Alan's Charizard pops out again for battle. Leon, I'll continue to battle with my Charizard. Alan, it's been my dream to battle you too, and defeat you. Leon chuckles. Alan, you mark my words. Now respond to my heart. Activates his Keystone now. Beyond Evolution Mega Evolve. Alan's Charizard's Charizardite X activates and it begins to Mega Evolve into Mega Charizard X. The world was surprised to see the Mega Evolution, while Galar region was surprised seeing the Mega Evolution, as they didn't know about it much. The Kalosians cheered seeing it, while other regions also looked at the changed Charizard in surprise. Alan, so that's your Mega form, huh? It really looks strong. Now I really want to find those stones and get stronger together. What say, friend? Charizard roared in agreement. With Kalos High Command. Dintha, so Mega Charizard X, huh? I must say he looks quite powerful. Let's see how Leon will face this. Says looking at the screen seriously. Malva, though we can confirm that the boy has potential. Everyone agreed. In Lumio City. Prof. Sycamore burst into cheers on seeing the Mega Evolution. Congratulations Alan, you finally managed to do it. Marin smiled happy for Alan. Congrats Alan. You achieved what you wanted. Says with her cheeks red. With Kanto Jado High Command. Lance, so that boy has the power of Mega Evolution. Interesting, it clearly shows why he deserves the 6th position in the tournament. Others nodded in agreement. Karen, now Leon will have a tough time defeating Mega Evolution. Everyone nod in agreement. With Ash and friends. ASH, so that's Mega Evolution, huh? Brock nods as he explains to them the Mega Evolution which he read on the gear. Wow. I can't believe these type of things can be used as an power-up in the battles, and Charizard looks really cool. Charizard also roared, clearly wanted that power-up as well, while Ash understood and smiled. ASH, don't worry, we will look for that power-up. Pikachu, Pikachu. Says disappointed when he came to know that Pikachu species can't Mega Evolve even on evolution. ASH, don't worry Pikachu, you are powerful in your own way. Pikachu smiles proudly at that while Misty and Brock smiled. In Hoenn region. Steven, so this is the famous Mega Evolution I heard so much about, huh? Quite interesting. Wallace, yeah. Apparently my niece Ligia has also went to Kalos to acquire it. It's quite a power-up. In Maple House. Norman, the famous Mega Evolution which I have so much about. Max and May were shocked as well. May, wow, that Charizard changed its appearance. Max, it looks cool. So this means its Mega form is a dragon and fire type? Norman nods looking at his tab. In Twin Leaf Town. Dawn and Johanna looked at the changed Charizard with awe as they really admired the Mega Evolution. Dawn, so this is the famous Mega Evolution, Mom? Johanna nods, wow. I didn't that these type of things could make battle so interesting. Wish I could use it as well in contests? Johanna, then you have to prove yourself to be capable of handling it, Dawn. Good luck, I will support you. Dawn smiles in gratitude as they look at the screen. With Leon. Leon and his partner were surprised by the change in the appearance of Charizard, and they were quite intrigued by its power. Leon, so this might be the famous Mega Evolution. The Kalos mechanic. Let's see how strong it is. I hope at least it could provide me some match whatever power it had. All the trainers and veterans looked at the Mega Evolved Charizard in awe as they really admired its appearance and how strong it looked, and they hoped it could defeat Leon's Charizard, though after this the Charmander species would receive quite a fame for being used by such strong trainers. Alan, Dragon Claw. Mega Charizard X uses Dragon Claw Till. Leon, use Ancient Power. Leon's Charizard uses Ancient Power. Mega Charizard X uses Dragon Claw to break through the boulders of Ancient Power and then made impact on Leon's Charizard. Alan, now use Flare Blitz. Mega Charizard X charges with Flare Blitz Till. Leon, Dragon Pulse. Leon's Charizard charges up Dragon Pulse while Mega Charizard X charged in fast with Flare Blitz. However, Charizard's Dragon Pulse shot it back down to the floor with a big explosion as Alan covered his face from the airwave. Announcer, Dragon Pulse. And it was super effective. The smoke clears out to reveal Alan's Charizard was down and out cold. Referee, Alan's Charizard is unable to battle. It's a win for Leon's Charizard. Which means the victory goes to Leon. Crowd, cheering loud. Leon and Charizard slide their victory pose. Announcer, the first match has been decided. Leon is the first to move on toward the second final round. The Galar region burst into cheers at the triumph of their champion towards the semi-finals, as they knew that no one, even with a mechanic, could defeat their champion. Rayhan, no one can defeat you, Leon. Not even the champions. Only I will achieve that feat even if it takes me years. With Leon. Leon, well, I had high expectations. But looks like that rookie couldn't give me the battle I wanted. But let's not lose hope, cause we still have 2 more matches and who knows, my upcoming opponents might give me the battle I want. Charizard also roared in triumph by showing that Mega Charizard its place and winning, and also hoped for a challenge from the next competitors. To say that the world was shocked would be an understatement, as they saw how Mega Charizard went down in just one move. The Mega Evolution users and the Kalosians were in disbelief at how their representative, despite with a Mega Evolution, lost in just one Dragon Pulse attack, and the Kalos High Command was stunned. While many veteran trainers and champions from other regions were stunned to witness the power of the world champion who just defeated Mega Evolution in just one move. Now the whole world understood that Leon was really on a higher level, at a pedestal where no one could reach. They all didn't know how will they defeat the world champion. His power also shattered the pride of many trainers who thought they were powerful, especially the Mega Evolution users who were proud of that mechanic saw their pride shattering into pieces. The champions and elites came to conclusion that Leon really deserved those titles of the undefeated champion, the invincible trainer, and the current world champion. With Ash and friends. ASH, nervously, gee guys, is this real? Pikachu and Charizard also shocked. Misty, I can't believe. He just one-shotted and defeated that Mega Evolution like it was nothing. Brock, no wonder he deserves those titles. Leon the world champion. In Pallet Town. Gary, Gramps. Tell me, is this power real? Says nervously. Prof OK, no Gary. This is very real. Says seriously, he is really known for his position. With Kanto Jado High Command. Lorelei, I can't believe it. Did Leon just defeat Mega Evolution with just a single attack? Lance, this clearly shows how powerful he is. We can't make a mistake to doubt his power. Says seriously. With Hoenn High Command. Wallace, with this Leon just proved that even Mega Evolution takes a single attack for its defeat. He really deserves the title. I know I wouldn't stand a chance against him. Says seriously. Drake, yeah. At least that boy gave his best, right, Steven? Steven, I admit that Leon was quite powerful and his strength is something to be feared, but that rookie Alan, I have seen that his bond is not much strong than it should be. He only focus on his Charizard and his other two Pokemon. They didn't share the same bond the trainer had with his Charizard. Phoebe, so it means he completely focuses on his Charizard instead of his whole team. Steven, that boy has to improve and see his mistake. He really disappoints me. With Sinnoh High Command. Cynthia, this clearly shows us how powerful Leon is. I have to plan my strategies and train super hard if I want to win against him. Lucian, I still can't believe he knocked Mega Evolution just like that. With Alola Group. Prof Kukui, I can't believe he destroyed the Mega Evolution just like that. Samson, yeah, after what I heard about it, this really proves the opposite. This also shows that Z-move will also be ineffective against it. Prof Kukui, now I really don't think our champion can win this. With the group. Lily, to knock out Mega Evolution just like that. The Galar champion is really very powerful. Kiawe, DMN. Seeing the battle. This really shocks me that such strong trainers exist out there. Mallow, I wonder how will our champion or the fact others will face him. With Alan. Alan was devastated and stunned at how easily his Mega Evolution was defeated in just a single attack. Alan, for years I thought that Mega Evolution makes you undefeatable. To see it being knocked down in single move. Does that mean all my struggle to find it is just a waste? To see it defeated in a single attack. His partner was too shocked to react. With Sycamore. Sycamore, fell on his chair, Mega Evolution just defeated in a single hit. Such strong power to be defeated like that. Marin, Alan lost. Says with tears. With Kalos High Command. The Kalos champion and her elites were unable to comment anything on it, seeing how easily their Kalos mechanic was defeated in just a single hit. Seabold, so this it. Is this where we stand? To see Mega Evolution be defeated in a single attack. Malva, I can't believe what I saw. Dintha, this clearly shows how powerful Leon is. Defeating him with a mechanic is impossible. We need more strength, skills and strategies to defeat. I wonder I could defeat him. Alan, offers a handshake, I'll rethink my strategy for next time. Leon, accepts his handshake, good. I'll be waiting. Narrator, the Pokemon World Coronation Series, Masters 8 Tournament. It started with a victory for Leon. Now for the next match. Everyone stared at Leon, the invincible champion, darkly, as they now knew that the announcer was not bragging about his capabilities. Cynthia, stares at him seriously. Leon has gigantic power, I couldn't even compare myself to him. Says stupefied. Steven, so this is the power of the world champion, me and the others have to be careful. Says while looking at Leon seriously. Lance, how could he get so strong? Says confused, thinking how Leon reached that level. Dintha, looked at Leon seriously and clenched her fists. You are very strong, I admit. Your strength is something to be feared. Says as she had a bad feeling about the semifinals. Iris, looks at Leon nervously. How will I match the world champion's power? Even Drayden and Village Elder were shocked to react. Alan, looked at Leon defeated. You are too strong. I can only give my best wishes to the others who will be facing you, Leon. Veilstone City. Paul, I can't believe such level of power. Reggie, to defeat a mechanic like Mega Evolution is no joke. Seriously, how powerful is the world champion? Paul, he is powerful. I think it would take me years to reach that level, and I suspect if anyone can reach there. Let's see how others fare against him. Ash just looked at Leon nervously while also fearing his next match. You. Misty, seriously, how powerful is he? It's like he is blessed by Arceus. ASH, thinks I wonder how will I defeat him. Before the screens could show further they went blank, which created a uproar among the public who wanted to know what happens next. End of chapter. Hi guys, so this was chapter 2 and I hope you like it. So today we have shown the battle between Alan and Leon where Alan was defeated and I literally laughed at how that Mega Charizard X was defeated in a single attack. If you like it then please vote and comment on it, which will help because writing it is not easy. Next chapter will be released soon. Till then, take care guys. Do you agree that it should be Tobias or Paul instead of Alan in the Masters 8? Note, any suggestions I am ready to take and I will AsuraChampion soon. It's just that I am unable to get more ideas to how to end the finals, but I will update within this week. Bye guys. Hi guys, this is chapter 3 and I hope you like it, so enjoy and yeah, don't forget to vote. Everyone in the world were getting impatient when the screens were blank for almost 5 minutes and the researchers were trying to see the source of the screens when they lit up again, and every viewer's face bloomed with excitement as they look at the screen. The screen turned to Winden Stadium where the crowd was cheering and Lance and Diantha were already in their respective positions. Announcer, the Masters 8 tournament where the strongest trainer or the world champion will be decided. After the battle of Leon and Alan where Alan lost to Leon, we now see yet another amazing battle of champions. On one hand we have the Dragon Master Lance, the champion of Kanto and Johto, and battling him will be the Kalos champion participant Diantha. Both Lance and Diantha look at each other with a determined face. Announcer, now as they both stand ready to begin. Which of these champions will battle against Leon in the Masters 8 tournament semi-finals? The people of Kanto and Johto looked at their champion with admiration and respect, noting that he was the 4th strongest trainer in the world participating against the champion of Kalos, another incredible trainer. His and many dragon trainers from the world looked at him with respect, wishing to be like him, a great trainer and a dragon tamer. The people of Kalos also looked at their champion with admiration and respect, seeing her become the 5th strongest trainer in the world and battle against the champion of the United Regions of Kanto and Johto. Lance looked at the screen with full attention, hoping that his future self would defeat the Kalos champion and go to the semi-finals to battle Leon. Diantha also looked at the screen, hopeful that she could defeat Lance and his team of dragons and see how much had she improved in the future. Lance, the time has come. Trainers of the Kanto region. Trainers of the Johto region. We see many old allies of Ash's in Kanto and Johto watching Lance on TV. First was Richie and his Pikachu, Sparky, then Jimmy, Marina, and Vincent and their Pokemon partners. Lance, all of you, just watch me battle. And you Diantha, as a Dragon Master, I ask that you bring only your best to battle my Dragon Brigade. Diantha, and of course, you're right. The thing that connects us all is our Pokemon, and battling itself. I too have request. To all of the trainers of the Kalos region, as I stand here. From a Pokemon Center in Kalos we find Ash's old Kalos trainer allies, Tierno, Shauna, Trevor and Sawyer watching Diantha on screen. Diantha, your dreams and ambitions are with me. And so Lance, I am very much looking forward to seeing how you and your Pokemon shine like the stars. Lance, so shall we begin? Crowd, cheering. The Kanto and Johto people admired and became excited at the words of their champion and cheered for him, hoping he would defeat the Kalos region and bring fame to both Kanto and Johto. With Kanto Johto High Command. Bruno, smiled, looks like, even in the future you haven't lost the touch, huh Lance? Koga, well what do you expect, he is our champion after all and he is representing 2 regions in the tournament. Good luck Lance, even if it's in the future. Your victory will bring fame to the 2 regions. Agatha, yeah but it will not be easy. Diantha is known for her strategies, so defeating her will not be easy. And remember, if you beat her then you will face Leon. Lance, nod seriously, yeah these battles will not be easy at all. But knowing it is what makes this more interesting. Let's see how strong am I in the future and if I learn something new. Lorelei, well we all are supporting you in this Lance. You can do this. Everyone including Goodshow nod as they trusted Lance to win this, to which he nods smiling and they turns to the screen looking at his future self, hoping that he could live up to his peers' expectations. With Ash and friends. Ash looked excited at his regional champion, excited to see his battle and hoping he would win. ASH, look Pikachu. We will see our champion battle. Pikachu also looked excited to see the battle. Misty, looks like our champion is going to fight the Kalos champion. Brock, yeah. And we can also see how strong the Kalos champion is, though she is beautiful. Says with a blush while Misty sighed, annoyed by this. Misty, though I wonder why they didn't show us. I mean the trainers the screen showed must be from Kanto and Johto, then we would get a appearance as well, right? Brock, Misty, in my case. Lance might be the champion but I would rather support my friend. Looks at Ash, which Misty also agrees. With Richie. Richie was surprised by his appearance on screen and he quite liked his appearance even if it was cameo, and it meant that he was on a correct path on being a trainer, which made him motivated. Richie, smiles, you can do it Lance. Defeat the Kalos champion. Says supporting his regional champion. In Johto New Bark Town. The 3 trainers, while one of them being a coordinator, looked at the screen surprised seeing themselves on screen supporting their champion, which made them smile. Jimmy, alright, I know you can win this Lance. Defeat the Kalos champion. Says determined. Vincent, yes, show them the power of Johto and Kanto trainers. Marina, I know our champion will win. Vincent, yeah, and it seems we have become quite the trainers in the future. Marina, I am just glad we remained friends in the future. Smiles at the two who nod as well. The Kalos people also looked at their champion hoping she could win as their representative had already lost and was out of the tournament, and it was very disappointing seeing how the Mega Evolution was knocked out in a single attack. With Kalos High Command. Wickstrom, looks like the responsibility of the whole Kalos region is in your hands now, champion. Malva, yeah, and you have to be careful, champion. If we lost this match, then the whole Kalos region is out of the tournament. Seabold, you have our support. Show them the power of the Kalos region champion and take it to greatness. Dintha, nods thanks. I hope I will not disappoint you and the whole region. Looks at her future self hoping she could defeat the two regional champion in the battle. Let's see how strong am I in the future. While in Aquacord Town, the trio of trainers were surprised to see themselves on screen but smiled knowing that they were supporting their champion, which they would do now as well, supporting their regional champion with everything, hoping that she would take the Kalos region to greatness. Shauna, looks guys, it's us on the screen. Turno, yeah, and we are supporting our champion. I hope she wins. Trevor, yeah, and I am eager to see her Mega Gardevoir in action. I have heard it's very strong. Turno, I also wished I could have Mega Evolution, but after what I saw in the first match. How the undefeated champion knocked out Mega Charizard in a single attack. It changed my whole view on Mega Evolution. Shauna, yeah, and that Gigantamax. Did you see how monstrous that Charizard looked? That Dynamax mechanic is surely terrifying. Trevor, yeah, it's a relief it's not permanent the whole battle. They turned towards the screen. In Hoenn Slateport City. A green-haired trainer looked confused at the screen as to why was he supporting the Kalos champion. It's not like he had a problem with it, but being from Hoenn he should support his own regional champion. Sawyer, am I in the Kalos region? But why would I go there? Was confused though. I hope I could get some good strategies from the match. Looks intently at the screen. In Galar. Leon looks at both the trainers with interest as one of them could be his opponent in the semifinals. Leon, let's see how strong you two are and hope you could give me the battle I wanted in the semifinals. Says with excitement and interest as his Charizard also watched intently, looking forward to face their strongest Pokemon and defeat them. Announcer, for this round, each contestant gets 3 Pokemon. No limits on time or switching Pokemon. The winner who leaves all 3 of their opponent's Pokemon unable to battle, wins. Also, a contestant can only use Dynamax, a Z-move, or Mega Evolution once per match. Referee, now, both of you send your first Pokemon to the field. Lance and Diantha took out their Pokeballs. Referee, 3, 2, 1, go. Lance tosses his Pokeball, here we come. Diantha, shall we? Tosses her Pokeball. Both their first Pokemon pop out. First was Lance's Dragonite. Announcer, and they're off. Lance's starts out with Dragonite. Diantha's first Pokemon was none other than an Aurorus, which looked determined. Announcer, and encounter Diantha bring out Aurorus. The people of Kanto and Johto looked excited at the Dragonite, knowing that it was the ace Pokemon of Lance, which brought him the position of champion for both regions. With Kanto Johto High Command. Lorelei raises an eyebrow, starting the match with your ace already. This is new. And I remember that Aurorus is a ice type, so this match will not be easy. Will, you really sound confident in your decision, champion. What are you up to? Bruno, who knows? It might be that our champion has a trump card on his sleeve. Though let's see how this goes. Lance nods, though he was confused by his future self's decision as well, wanting to know why did he release his ace in the start. With Ash and friends. Ash smiled looking at the Dragonite, the known ace of their regional champion. ASH, look Pikachu, it's Dragonite. Our champion's strongest Pokemon. Pikachu looked excited to see the Dragonite while mentally wanted to face it in the battle. Misty, serious Dragonite. The strongest ace Pokemon of Lance. Having it in its arsenal clearly shows he is the champion of our region. Brock, yeah, and only veterans can train such Pokemon. It's practically the pseudo-legendary of our region. With Kalos High Command. Drasna, interested, looks like champion Lance is starting the match with his ace already. Cybold, which might not be easy knowing our champion has sent out an ice type which is super effective against dragon types. If you can defeat it, then you have a huge upper hand in the battle, champion. Though I didn't know you had a Aurorus champion? Dintha, I don't have at the moment, which means I might catch it in the future. Says the Kalos champion as she was interested in knowing the strength of the ice type. Referee, alright. Battle begin. Crowd, cheering loudly. Diantha, Aurorus, use light screen. Lance, use Hyper Beam. Aurorus uses Light Screen while Dragonite charged up and fired Hyper Beam. The Hyper Beam breaks through Light Screen and makes direct impact on Aurorus. However, the attack didn't do much damage for the Light Screen weakened the attack. Announcer, that Light Screen was able to reduce Hyper Beam's damage. Not only that, but once Hyper Beam is launched, the attacking Pokemon is temporarily unable to move. Everyone watched the fight with interest as they knew Lance would have a very hard time having the type disadvantage, and he also used Hyper Beam suddenly, which already put him in the corner as his Dragonite was unable to move. Though it was interesting for all of them to watch two famous champions face each other. In Veilstone, Paul, Lance made a big mistake. Revealing his ace at the start and then using Hyper Beam suddenly like that. It made him vulnerable to heavy attacks. Says seriously looking at the battle. Reggie, yeah, and Diantha having the type advantage would really take the best out of the chance she received. Diantha, Blizzard. Aurorus uses Blizzard on Dragonite as it gets affected. Despite the super effects of Blizzard, Dragonite was still able to stand on its feet as soon as Blizzard passes. Both Pokemon stared and grumbled at each other. Diantha, just what I'd expect. Lance, you handled that quite well. Dragonite roared out loud. Announcer, Dragonite is able to move again. Lance, use Body Press. Dragonite flies up and then lands down fast with Body Press, making hard impact on Aurorus as it fell on its back to the floor. Announcer, and that attack was super effective too. Diantha, Aurorus, please hang in. Aurorus starts getting back up on its feet and stood ready. With Sinnoh High Command. Cynthia, to withstand the most powerful Ice-type attack like Blizzard despite the disadvantage is really something to admire. Lucian, yes, it clearly shows how powerful Lance and his Dragonite is. Lance also looked confident in its Dragonite's abilities. Bertha, yes, which tells us that Lance truly deserves the position of the champion. Cynthia nods as she was excited to face that Dragonite with her Garchomp. In Unova Village of Dragons. Iris, Lance and his Dragonite are so cool. Says with stars in her eyes, I can't believe it withstood such a powerful Ice-type attack. Drayden, that's the power of the Kanto Johto regional champion. He is really a great dragon trainer and his Dragonite is a force to be admired. Says with a smile. Iris nods. In Pallet Town. Profoak, now that's Lance. He and his Dragonite are a force to be admired. I still remember the battle which made him the champion. Says with a fond smile. Gary, looks at Lance with admiration. I wish to become like him. I will train my Pokemon so that they could be as strong as that Dragonite. Profoak, it will not be easy, Gary. But I wish you luck. Gary nods while Delia also wishes best for Gary cause he was like a son to her as well. Lance, use Body Press. One more time. Dragonite flies up and starts coming down with Body Press however. Diantha, use Reflect. Aurorus uses Reflect. Dragonite hits down on Reflect with Body Press but no impact onto Aurorus. Announcer, and Aurorus withstands the attack using Reflect. Aurorus roared out proud while its Reflect brightened up. Leon, Cynthia, Iris, Alan, and Steven Stone were watching from the screen in their room. In Twin Leaf Town. Dawn admired at the lights which the attack produced, already thinking of something where she could use it in her contests when she will participate. Johanna, that was impressive. With more creativity we could also use it in the contests. Dawn, yeah. These battles are amazing. I could learn so much more from it for my future contests. With Hoenn High Command. Steven, wow. Who knew Reflect and Light Screen, two defensive moves could be used like that? Wallace, yeah, impressive, and it can also be used in contests. Phoebe, this shows us why Diantha deserves the position of the Kalos champion. Steven, yeah, Diantha is using it to pressure Lance. She is clearly in control of the battle at the moment. Lance, Dragonite, Twister, go. Dragonite uses Twister. Diantha, Rock Slide. Aurorus prepared its Rock Slide until. Lance, don't underestimate us. Use the Dragon-type move we trained hard for. Dragonite unleashes its Twister, and Aurorus unleashed its Rock Slide. The Twister slipped past few of the rocks from Rock Slide, but the ones that it avoided make impact on Dragonite, while Twister breaks through Aurorus Light Screen and Aurorus itself. Lance, I'd say your stint is over, Aurorus. Aurorus fell to the floor from Twister. The referee floated down on his? And found Aurorus down and out cold. Referee, Aurorus is unable to battle. Aurorus gets marked off from Diantha's list on the screen. Announcer, the first Pokemon matchup goes to Lance. He certainly has demonstrated Dragonite's power. Lance, when the going gets tough, we simply take advantage of our overwhelming strength. The world was surprised at quickly Lance gained control of the battle and defeated Diantha's first Pokemon as the Kanto and Johto people cheered at the first win their regional champion scored, while the Kalos people were saddened by the fact that how fast their champion lost her Pokemon despite the advantage. With Kanto Johto High Command. Bruno, and Lance strikes first. Says with a proud smile. Lorelei, this clearly shows us how you should never underestimate Lance and his Dragonite. Lance smiles as he looks at his future self, becoming serious as he knew that it was the start and anything could happen in the course of the battle. In Veilstone City. Paul, Lance has trained his Dragonite very well. It has so much force in it, even able to destroy the double defense of Reflect and Light Screen like that. Reggie, yes, it clearly shows how powerful champion Lance is. With Leon. Leon became excited at how that Dragonite defeated that Aurorus despite the disadvantage and high defense. Leon, Lance is really a great champion. Now I really wish we could have a battle in the future. Charizard nodded, already eager to face that Dragonite. Diantha, Aurorus, return now. Calls it back to its Pokeball, thank you so much. Lance, Dragonite, return. Calls it back to its Pokeball. Everyone looked at Lance's sudden change in Pokemon with interest, as many veterans understood his decision of saving Dragonite for later, as it was really an ace Pokemon and played a big role in the course of the battle. They were interested in knowing which Pokemon will come next, while the Kalos people were getting little nervous cause Lance was already on lead. Diantha takes out her next Pokeball, I'm counting on you. Tosses it up, Gourgeist. Her Gourgeist pops out, battle ready. Announcer, Diantha's second Pokemon is Gourgeist. And the defense wall effect is still there. Lance, Gyarados, go. Lance's red Gyarados pops out, battle ready. Announcer, Lance's second Pokemon is Gyarados. Lance, there's nothing Gyarados cannot handle. Shiny, was the voice heard from all over the world as people were shocked to see a shiny red Gyarados, which surprised many veteran trainers, champions, and elites. Lance himself was stunned to see a red Gyarados in his team. With Kanto Johto High Command. Will, bruh. What the F dash? Language, Koga, Agatha and Bruno yelled together, cutting Will swearing, while Lance was too stunned to yell at Will. Lorelei, you have a shiny Gyarados. Was too shocked seeing the red Gyarados. Gucho, do you have it now? Was curious as he was looking at the red Gyarados with amazement. Lance shakes his head no. I think I will have it in the future, and then an excited grin came on his face, I can't wait when I will catch it. Bruno, this championships are really surprising us from time to time. I wonder how many more surprises are there left. Agatha, you Gyarados look strong, but I think Diantha is also playing her own games by sending out her ghost grass type Gourgeist. You have to be careful, Lance. Lance nods seriously, looking intently at the screen, and so were the others. In Johto Blackthorn City. Lance's cousin and the Dragon Gym leader Claire was looking at the red Gyarados, stunned as she was too shocked to see Lance achieve such a feat, while she was already surprised to see Lance in the championships. Claire, you have a explaining to do, Lance, and then a playful smile appeared on her lips. You better win this for both Johto and Kanto's sake. She was cheering for her cousin, hoping he would win against the Kalos champion, so were the elders of the Dragon's Den. With Ash and friends. ASH, Brock, why is that Gyarados red? Brock, it's a shiny Gyarados, Ash. I can't believe our champion has a shiny red Gyarados, but I have never seen it in a battle till now. Misty, then he must have caught it in the future. This championships are really full of surprises. Ash and Brock nod in agreement. With Kalos High Command. Dintha, a shiny Gyarados. This will be tough. Seabold, And I believe they both have a great bond with each other. I don't know the power champion Lance will have when he will achieve Mega Evolution, cause I have heard that Gyarados can Mega Evolve as well. Malva, I don't know, but I have a feeling that this will not be everything champion Lance has to show us. Says while looking at the screen intently. Dintha, and I can't wait for our battle. I admit that battling Lance's Mega Gyarados with my Mega Gardevoir will be interesting if he manages to achieve Mega Evolution. Says with a smile. Diantha, now, Gourgeist, use Trick or Treat. Gourgeist uses Trick or Treat to summon ghostly spirits to make impact on Gyarados. Lance scoffs, how annoying. Diantha snickers proud. Lance, use Aqua Tail now. Lance's Gyarados, shiny, uses Aqua Tail, but Gourgeist counters it with Reflect for a brief moment and pushes it back. Diantha, that's a lot of power. Without Reflect, that could have been bad. Lance, your light screen will vanish very soon. Diantha snickers. Many laughed at how Lance made a face at the attack, while the veterans were looking seriously at the screen, knowing that Kalos champion always had these types of tricks to surprise many trainers, as they wanted to know how will Lance get out of this situation. With Kalos High Command. Dintha, chuckles, well, looks like my tactic really annoyed Lance. Drasna laughs a little, yeah, but he also has a point, you know. That reflect is going to vanish soon and Lance's Pokemon have clearly shown why will that be a great problem. Dintha, I have to agree. Lance's Pokemon have great power, so I have to very careful. With Sin no High Command. Cynthia smiles. Lance and Diantha both have proved to be a great opponents and they both have shown why they both deserve to be champions. Bertha, yeah, but now they are in a very serious situation. Lance can't let Gyarados get hit by a ghost-type move or else he will take serious damage. Flint, yeah, and Diantha have to be very careful because Lance's Pokemon are very strong and if it isn't for that reflect and light screen then her Pokemon would have took serious damage and those defenses wouldn't remain for a long time. Many nodded looking at the battle seriously. With Ash and friends. ASH, trick and treat? What is that, Brock? Looks at the Brock confused while Misty looked at Brock as well for an explanation. Brock, trick and treat is a attack which changes the opponent Pokemon's type to ghost and if it's a dual type then the second type if replaced by ghost typing. Which means that Gyarados is now water ghost type and Misty, ghost type moves will be super effective against Gyarados now. Says surprised that's one tough move. Brock, yeah, let's see how will the champion deal with it. With Kanto Jado High Command. Lance had a same face as his future counterpart. That attack is very annoying. Lorelei snickers, I can imagine. Though you have to careful now and hope Diantha's defenses disappear soon. Lance nods. Bruno, yeah, once those are gone then you will have a upper hand. And it clearly shows how well you have trained your Gyarados. Lorelei, though it wouldn't be bad if that Gyarados learned few ice types move, right? Says playfully, to which Lance shrugs, thinking about it later. Lance, and that will decide this. Gyarados, use Dragon Pulse. Diantha, Shadow Sneak. Gyarados charges up its Dragon Pulse, however Gourgeist casts out its Shadow Sneak to summon a shadowy figure to come under and appear behind Gyarados and made direct impact via the tail. Announcer, a preemptive strike using Shadow Sneak. Combined with Trick or Treat, it did tons of damage. But then Gyarados managed to fire out its Dragon Pulse. Announcer, however. The light screen cancels out and Gourgeist gets hit by the Dragon Pulse as it gets blasted back, but it managed to stay on its feet. Announcer, that Dragon Pulse was a direct hit. And the light screen is finally gone. Lance, still battling? In that case, use Ice Fang. Gyarados uses Ice Fang but then. Diantha, use Phantom Force. Gourgeist uses Phantom Force to vanish as Gyarados missed it. Gourgeist reappears on Gyarados' back. Lance, use Dragon Pulse. Gyarados notices Gourgeist on its back and prepares Dragon Pulse only for Gourgeist to reappear beside its face and struck hard. However, Gyarados still managed to fire its Dragon Pulse and made impact on Gourgeist. Gourgeist stayed on its feet however, while the worn-out Gyarados, Shiny, collapsed and fell defeated as the referee checked. Referee, Gyarados is unable to battle. Gyarados gets marked off on the screen. Announcer, this time, it was Diantha who came through. Everyone were surprised by the battle which was shown as they were really surprised to see Gourgeist's strength in the battle which clearly showed that Diantha trained her Pokemon very well and now they are on a tie with both sides losing one Pokemon each. The Kalos people cheered seeing their champion defeat one of Lance's Pokemon and hoped she would maintain the course of the battle, but the veterans knew that Gourgeist wouldn't battle for too long now cause it had took enough damage. With Kalos High Command. Malva, and our champion ties the match. Says with a smile. Wickstrom, indeed. It clearly shows how Gourgeist is such an important member of your team. Dintha, smiles, yeah, Gourgeist has won many battles for me and the strategies I can develop, though it's too early to celebrate knowing with whom I am fighting. Says with seriousness looking at the screen. In Aquacord Town. The three trainers cheer seeing Gyarados fall as they were happy to see their champion win. Shauna, alright, our champion managed to tie the match. Was really happy with the result. Turno, yeah, I hope she maintains it now. Trevor, and I also managed to get the picture of that shiny red Gyarados. It not every day you see that. Says happy. Though the Kalos people cheered, the people of Kanto and Johto were sad on seeing their champion's first Pokemon fall and that too that shiny red Gyarados which created so much admiration. They really hoped their champion could prevail again from the defeat. With Kanto Johto High Command. Karen, things are even now, I never imagined that red Gyarados would fall to that Gourgeist. Lance, Diantha knows very well how to manage her movements. Her strategies make her superior to me. Says seriously. Bruno, don't worry Lance, you still can take control of the battle, it's not over yet. Lance nods. Lance, yeah though. Looks at Lorelei, looks like that Gyarados did new an ice type move. Says with a smile. Lorelei, yeah it did. says nervously while blushing a little, which the others noticed and snicker. Pallet Town Profolk's Laboratory. Gary, Arceus DMN it. And I was so amazed by that red Gyarados, but to see it defeated like that. Now Champion Lance is one Pokemon down. Not happy with his region champion's first defeat. Profo AK, well, that red Gyarados did amaze me, but that doesn't make it undefeatable. It clearly shows how assured Diantha is with her strategies. Now Lance has to be careful with how he takes on this battle. Says seriously looking at the screen. Tracy, yeah, and it doesn't help that Lance's Ace Dragonite is weakened. He has to be very careful to take on the course of the battle. Says looking at the screen intently. Lance calls Gyarados back to its Pokeball. Lance, Gyarados, you were great. Puts Gyarados' Pokeball away and takes out his next one, Hydreigon, let's go. Tosses his Pokeball. Hydreigon pops out ready. Announcer, Lance's third Pokemon is Hydreigon. Diantha, I happen to have a plan to overcoming that Hydreigon. Lance looked stern. Ash watched silently, wondering what Diantha's plan is to beat Hydreigon. Announcer, in the second bout between Lance and Diantha, Diantha has brought out Gourgeist while Lance has Hydreigon. The people of were surprised to see the Unova dragon, especially the people of Unova, but everyone looked at the battle intently, knowing that Lance had all the advantage falling off his shoulders. With Kanto Johto High Command. Agatha, and there goes your last Pokemon Hydreigon? You really have to be careful with this, Lance, and it looks like Diantha has came prepared. Lance, yeah. Says seriously, but one could see the sweat on his face, to which he notices someone gripping his hand and looks to the right to see Lorelei looking at him with an encouraged smile. Lorelei, no matter what the result is, we all will be proud of you, Lance. Everyone nod as Lance smiled with gratitude. With Johto trainers. Marina, it looks like our champion is really in big trouble at the moment. Says worried. Jimmy, yeah, he have to careful while dealing with the Kalos champion. Jimmy was looking at the match intently, noting all the strategies and attacks, as he was trainer with 3 years experience and had lost the Johto League, so he had to try harder. Vincent, I know our champion will come out of it. Diantha, now, Gourgeist, trick or treat. Gourgeist uses trick or treat to send out spirit-like beings to attack Hydreigon. Lance, no matter. Use Dark Pulse. Hydreigon fired Dark Pulse and it broke through Gourgeist Reflect and it started wavering. Diantha, huh? Lance, snickers. Then Reflect cancels out. Announcer, and that was the end of Reflect. And since Dark Pulse is super effective, Gourgeist is wavering. Lance, once again. Use Dark Pulse. Hydreigon fires Dark Pulse and Gourgeist gets hit hard. The smoke cleared to reveal Gourgeist down on the floor as the referee checked to find it defeated. Referee, Gourgeist is unable to battle. Lance, takes out Gyarados' Pokeball, we did it, Gyarados. This victory only happened because of your excellent work. Dintha, Gourgeist gets marked off on the screen. Announcer, Diantha is now down to her last Pokemon. Diantha, thanks, Gourgeist. Calls it back to its Pokeball, you're wonderful. People who respected and admired Lance smiled and cheered at Lance's victory, and everyone understood Lance's actions on Hydreigon taking on Trick and Treat head on so recklessly. Lance showed them having a great self-esteem and confidence in your Pokemon companions was exemplary. A great bond of friendship was something really fascinating, and nothing better than having them with your usual companions. The Kanto and Johto people cheered for their champion on defeating the second Pokemon of the Kalos champion and taking the lead again. The Kalos people again became desperate and sad at seeing their champion's Pokemon fall like that, so now the champion was on her last Pokemon. With Kanto Johto High Command. Karen, and we take the lead again. Congratulations, champion. Bruno, yeah, that was impressive and you had full confidence in your Pokemon. Will, for a moment I was surprised by your reckless decision for taking that Trick and Treat attack head on, but you clearly turned the battle upside down the next match. Lorelei, well, what do you expect? This is Lance after all. Lance smiled proud that he defeated 2 of Diantha's Pokemon. Agatha, but it's too early to celebrate cause we all know who is going come now. At that everyone became serious knowing and heard about the Kalos champion's ace. With Ash and friends. ASH, alright, Lance scores another win. Says excited and proud, and everyone nodded. Brock, yeah, Lance knew that Trick and Treat will backfire and he fully believed in his Pokemon. That clearly shows his experience as a champion. Misty nods. Misty, and now Diantha has been cornered up against the wall. Let's see how she counters it. Brock, I doubt it cause this will be her last Pokemon, so she would choose her strongest ace. And I have a feeling she has the power of the Mega Evolution, which we have seen cause it belongs to her own region. This left Ash and Misty to wonder who will the Diantha's ace. With Leon. Leon smiled looking at the match with interest. Leon, you are a great trainer champion, Lance. I hope we could have a battle in the future. You could provide me a good challenge but... Looks at Diantha. I know this battle is not over yet, so show me what you two have got, says excited. Charizard nodded, focusing on the battle intently. Diantha, all right now, it's your turn. Go, Gardevoir. Tosses her Pokeball. Gardevoir pops out. Lance, I've been waiting for you, Gardevoir. Diantha, shall we show them a magnificent performance, huh? I think so, Gardevoir. Mega Evolve. Activates her keystone and Gardevoir's Gardevoirite begins to glow. Gardevoir begins to Mega Evolve into Mega Gardevoir. People from all over the regions except Kalos looked at Gardevoir with fascination and awe in her Mega form, which looked quite strong, and they were intrigued to see Kalos Champion's strongest Pokemon in action. They knew that Mega Evolution was from Kalos, so it's simple that the Kalos Champion would have it as well. Now the Kanto and Johto people feared for Lance's defeat. With Kalos High Command. Malva, and here comes Mega Gardevoir. A fear for many trainers. Cybold, yeah. Mega Gardevoir alone has destroyed teams of many trainers. Its strength is something to be admired. Diantha nods, proud of her companion, as she brings out her Gardevoir, who looked confused as Diantha explained to her everything, and she looked at the screen intrigued at how her future self will win. With Kanto Johto High Command. Koga, and here comes Mega Gardevoir, the ace Pokemon of the Kalos Champion. Agatha, and it looks like your future self clearly realizes the power of that Pokemon, which is why your future self looks quite serious on seeing it battle. Lorelei, Gardevoir. A Psychic Fairy type. This battle will not be easy for you, Lance, and you also have your Dragonite weakened already. With that said, everyone feared for their champion's defeat, as defeating that Mega Gardevoir wouldn't be easy at all. Lance nods, looking at the battle, as he didn't even flinch from his elites and Gucho's worried face, cause he knew that he was in great trouble and could be defeated, but he would at least give his all out and train hard this time for the future battle which still had to take place. Lumiose City. Prof. Sycamore and Marin looked at the Mega Gardevoir with awe and admiration, as Professor Sycamore was enjoy getting all the data on Mega Evolutions he wanted from the screen and noting it down. Prof. Sycamore, so this is the famous Mega Gardevoir. Let's see how powerful will it be. Marin, yeah. Prof. Sycamore, all the data I can get is great. I hope I can get the Mega Evolution mechanic one day. Says impatient to get the mechanic. Diantha, use Shadow Ball. Mega Gardevoir uses Shadow Ball. Lance, use Tri-Attack. Hydreigon uses Tri-Attack to stop Shadow Ball. Diantha, surprised, huh? Lance, offense is the best defense. The winner attacks first. Alright, use Flash Cannon. Hydreigon fires up its Flash Cannon till. Diantha, Psychic, let's go. Mega Gardevoir uses Psychic to counter Flash Cannon. Lance, now what? Diantha, scoffs proudly, use Moonblast. Mega Gardevoir powers up and uses Moonblast, and it hits Hydreigon. Announcer, that Moonblast was powerful. Can Hydreigon withstand it? The Moonblast explodes and Hydreigon fell to the floor dazed and defeated as the referee checked. Referee, Hydreigon is unable to battle. Hydreigon gets marked off from the screen. Announcer, Lance has now lost 2 Pokemon. The twists keep on twisting, but the next match will decide it all. Lance calls back his Hydreigon to its Pokeball. The Kalos people cheered at their champion's victory, and they really thought that the victory will go for the Kalos region, while the people of Kanto and Johto looked worried as they saw how their champion was falling and how will he face the Mega Gardevoir, while all the other regions look at Mega Gardevoir's power in awe and shock. That Mega Evolution really gave a big boost to Gardevoir as it defeated a very powerful Pokemon like Hydreigon just like that. This made them admire Kalos Champion. With Kalos people, Malva, and Mega Gardevoir scores the victory. Now you really have a upper hand, Diantha. Wickstrom, yeah, Dragonite is already weakened and it's already weak to your Mega Gardevoir in types, which increases the chances of your victory. Dintha, I wish I would think the same, but I have a feeling this is not over yet. The elites were confused. In Galar City. Aria, alright. Our champion scores another victory. Cheers for the Kalos champion. Palermo, this battle clearly shows how powerful our regional champion is with the Mega Evolution mechanic. Says with a smile. Aria, yeah, and her Mega Gardevoir is also so awesome. I know she will win. Says excited. With Ash and friends. Misty, what power? Was in awe at the power of Mega Gardevoir. Brock, this clearly shows how powerful Mega Evolution is and the power of the champions who are among top of the world. Misty, yeah. The looks at Ash, who was watching the screen intently. Do you think Ash will be able to defeat them? Says in a whisper. Brock, I don't know till I know how powerful the future Ash is. Misty nods. With Hoenn High Command. Steven, Lance is in big trouble now. Mega Gardevoir has so much advantage over Dragonite. Glacia, it's natural that Lance might lose this battle. Mega Evolution is a mechanic not to be underestimated. Wallace, and you have to careful as well Steven. Don't forget you will also be battling opponents way tougher than you fought cause this is the Masters tournament. Sydney, now that you talk about it. Aren't you battling the very first Alola champion? I think it will be easy for you cause I don't think that kid would prove to be much of a challenge. Drake, I think we shouldn't underestimate that kid. Don't forget he is one of the Masters 8 and he secured the position from all those thousands of trainers. Steven, yeah, and that is what makes me curious and excited to fight him. I want to see what has the kid got in himself and his Pokemon. Lance, thanks. You battled well. Now, Dragonite, everything is up to you. Tosses his Pokeball, go. Dragonite pops out back into the battlefield. Announcer, the final match is Dragonite vs Mega Gardevoir. Diantha, Gardevoir, it isn't over until it's over. Mega Gardevoir, Gardevoir. Lance, Dragonite, let's show them our extra power. Ready? Dragonite, affirmative. Lance calls back Dragonite into its Pokeball. Everyone and even Lance himself looked confused at why did he bring back his Pokemon cause it was his last Pokemon and calling it back would be disqualification. People didn't know what was Lance doing and they thought he had gone crazy? No. Then the veterans and the champions remembered. What happened with Leon's Rillaboom in the previous battle and everyone's eyes widened at that, especially the people of Galar were shocked. With Leon. Leon, after analyzing the battle went blank at Lance's action. No, it can't be. Lance, set. Let's do this. His Dynamax band begins to glow and his Pokeball turned brightly white before tossing it. Lance, go, Dynamax. Dragonite pops out while sky turned red and a vortex begins to appear. Announcer, there it is. Lance is choosing to use Dynamax. Dragonite begins to grow into a giant and become Dynamax Dragonite. All the people of Galar watched in shock at how a trainer from another region achieved Dynamax mechanic other than their champion and gym leaders, which was really shocking to them, especially for Leon. While the other regions were also shocked to see Dynamax Dragonite and they were stunned by the fact that Lance had Dynamax mechanic with him. How could someone from Johto achieve the power of the Galar Dynamax? Was a question in everyone's mind. Note, Lance's origin region is Johto according to anime. It made many veterans clear that the champions would have many surprises to show in the further rounds. With Leon. Leon was surprised to see the Dynamax Dragonite and to find out that the Kanto Johto champion could use Dynamax. Leon smiles. I had imagined that someday a foreigner will achieve the power of Dynamax and it looks like you have achieved that power, Lance. You will be a worthy opponent if you manage to beat that Gardevoir. Says excited to see the results. Charizard also nodded, looking at the Dynamax Charizard with an eagerness to battle if he managed to beat that Gardevoir. With Kanto Johto High Command. Lance was stunned seeing the Dynamax mechanic in his future self's hands. Karen, what the F dash? Language. Bruno, Agatha and Koga yelled at the same time while they look at Lance, who was too stunned to react. Lorelei, is that Dragonite? Asks, too surprised looking at the screen. Gucho, wow, that thing really became a giant. Though it's a shame that Dragonite doesn't have a Gigantamax phase. Bruno laughs, ha ha ha, who knew Lance had such a trump card up his sleeve. Lance looks at his Dynamax Dragonite amazed, how come I have the Dynamax mechanic? Though he thought that he might have traveled to Galar to get it, and now that he thought about it, he decided to visit the Galar region. A region which was not known had an incredible power-up on its grounds. He might also meet the world champion Leon. Ash, Pikachu and their friends were shocked to see the tremendous Dragonite on the screen and were surprised to know that Lance had such a mechanic up his sleeve this whole time. Misty, does the dual champion of Kanto and Johto have Dynamax? Brock, not at the moment, but it looks like he will have in the future. This is really surprising and the champions are clearly showing themselves in new light. Then he looks at Ash and couldn't help but think that what did his future self have? ASH, wow, Dynamax Dragonite. Pallet Town. Profoke, Gary and others were surprised to see the Dynamax Dragonite. Profo AK, alright, so from what I have understood, Gigantamax is phenomenon where Pokemon change their appearances and gain special power, while in Dynamax they just grow in size. Gary, so that's Dynamax Dragonite, so cool. I can't believe our champion has the Dynamax mechanic. TRCAEY, yeah. This is so amazing. I have to sketch it out. With Kalos High Command. Wickstrom, I can't believe. The champion of Kanto and Johto has Dynamax mechanic? Was shocked to see this. Drasna, it seems like it. Now I am curious to know how will your future self counter a champion. Malva, this is really frustration. When you think one of them has the upper hand, then the other comes and drops a huge bomb, shocking everyone. Dintha, this will not be easy. Looks at the Dynamax Dragonite. In Veilstone City. Paul, DMN. Champion Lance always amaze me with the brute force he and his Pokemon show. His Pokemon are strong and then he has the Dynamax power which triples the power. Reggie, But remember we know that Dynamax is not permanent so Lance has to finish it faster. Paul nods. Lance, the power of Dragonite should transcend its very limits through the power of Dynamax. Diantha, so you think you have an ace in the hole? Now, tell me. Are you able to withstand Fairy-type moves? Use Moonblast. Mega Gardevoir charged up its Moonblast till. Lance, Max Hailstorm. Dynamax Dragonite used Max Hailstorm. However, Mega Gardevoir managed to toss its Moonblast as it broke through the Max Hailstorm's ice. Dynamax Dragonite then crossed its arms together and to block and withstand the Moonblast. Announcer, success. Dynamax Dragonite withstood Moonblast. Then Mega Gardevoir started to get affected by the Max Hailstorm's chilling snow. Announcer, Max Hailstorm has made the battlefield dangerous. It's gradually eating away at Mega Gardevoir's strength. With Sinnoh High Command. Cynthia, this Dynamaxing not only affects the Pokemon but it affects the weather and its surroundings as well. This is really an incredible ability. Says while looking at how Gardevoir is struggling against Max Hailstorm. Bertha, yeah, and I can't believe how Galar managed to remain hidden from the rest of the regions with all that power. Flint, now Champion Diantha really has to do something cause that Mega Gardevoir will not be able to stand for that long. Though why is Lance intentionally taking so much damage? Cynthia, I have an idea as to why and if Diantha figured it out then Lance will have his victory stolen. With Unova High Command. Marshall, that Dragonite has a good resistance. Shuantal, Let's see how much Mega Gardevoir can hold. Alder, I don't know. I think Lance has made a terrible mistake here. The Unova elites look at Alder confused who just focuses on screen looking serious. Diantha, a desperate attack. Do you actually think that only Dragonite has enough stamina left to withstand this dangerous battlefield? Lance, smirked, quick. Use Max Strike. Dynamax Dragonite used Max Strike and was seemingly having impact on Mega Gardevoir till. Diantha, use Shadow Ball. Mega Gardevoir prepares its Shadow Ball. Lance, use Max Wormwind. Dynamax Dragonite readies Max Wormwind. With Hoenn High Command. Drake, Max Wormwind. But that looks like an Dragon-type attack. Phoebe, but isn't Dragon-type's attack weak against Fairy types? Steven, Lance isn't aiming it at Gardevoir. Look. Dynamax Dragonite then unleashed its Max Wormwind, while Mega Gardevoir fires its Shadow Ball. The Shadow Ball breaks through Max Strike, but then Max Wormwind swallowed the Shadow Ball inside itself. Announcer, look at that. Max Wormwind swallowed up that Shadow Ball. Diantha looked surprised but then smirked. Diantha, I see through you and your strategy. Mega Gardevoir groaned from the Max Hailstorm's effect while Dynamax Dragonite simply looked stern. Now all the people who believed in Lance's victory quickly lost their hope when they knew that his plan was compromised and many believed in the Kalos champion's victory over Lance. Many veterans were already looking at how Lance compromised his own victory, even Lance himself. With Cantogado High Command. Bruno, that was not a best strategy, Lance. This will really not be good. Agatha, yeah, now Diantha knows your plan. You have lost the hold on the match, Lance. Lance himself clenched his fist in frustration but didn't show it on his face as he mentally berated his future self for such a strategy which backfired on him. Lorelei, this isn't over yet. Come on Lance, put some more effort. Lance smiled at how Lorelei still supported him. With Kalos Champion. Dintha, now I know what are you trying to achieve, Lance. Cybold, and it looks like Kalos will be moving to the semifinals. Says with a smirk. Then Dynamax Dragonite begins to shrink down back to normal. Announcer, and here is where the Dynamax ends. Lance, use Hyper Beam. Dragonite charged up its Hyper Beam as Diantha and Mega Gardevoir stood and watched till Diantha smirked. Dragonite fired Hyper Beam. Diantha, now comes checkmate. Moonblast. Mega Gardevoir jumped up to dodge Hyper Beam. Lance, grunts. Mega Gardevoir then powered up its Moonblast and unleashes it towards Dragonite as it gets hit with direct impact. Lance, Dragonite. The clouds of Max Hailstorm clears out, as well as the smoke. We find Dragonite still standing as Mega Gardevoir landed down. Then Dragonite collapsed backwards. The referee checked and closed to find Dragonite defeated. Referee, Dragonite is unable to battle. Gardevoir's the winner, which means the victory goes to Diantha. Crowd, cheering. Announcer, Diantha will now proceed to the semi-final round. The people of Kanto and Johto looked crestfallen and dejected at their fallen champion, taking defeat against the Kalos champion. The gym leaders of Kanto and Johto and many dragon trainers all over the world also looked dejected at the fall of their regional champion Lance. With Johto trainers. Marina, Lance lost. Says dejectedly. Vincent, and with that both the regions are out of the tournament. Says sadly. Jimmy, Lance lost. Says while clenching his fist as Marina and Vincent look at him but he did his best and that's what matters. Says with a sad smile though he was sad at how the region was out. In Olivine City. Two trainers Lyra and Kuri look at their champion crestfallen. Kuri, he have his all. Lyra, yeah looks like the Kalos champion is really strong. In Kanto. Richie, oh Lance lost says sadly as he looks at the screen dejectedly. With Ash and friends. Misty, after everything our champion is out of the tournament. Brock, yeah. He was great and he gave his everything but the strategy won over force. Diantha clearly showed how great she is in strategies. ASH, so Lance lost Frowns as he too was sad that his regional champion lost. In Pallet Town. Gary, sighs in disappointment I really expect that Lance would win but he made many reckless mistakes. And Kalos champion really managed to take full advantage with it. Tracy, and this takes Kanto and Johto out of the tournament. Profo AK, It's a shame our champion lost but remember Kanto is not out of the tournament. Gary and Tracy look at Professor Oak confused. Profo AK, remember Ash is still in the tournament and also represents Kanto because it's his origin region. So if Ash wins then not only Alola but Kanto wins as well. Gary, yeah if he wins. Gary knew there were many tough trainers but he hoped Ash would win otherwise he would beat the crap out of the current Ash. With Kanto Johto High Command. Karen, and with that our regions are out of the tournament. Says dejected. Lance was frustrated at his loss and clenched his fist. He couldn't believe he lost from some foolish mistakes he made in the future. Lorelei, hey. It's alright. The important thing is that you gave your best. Bruno, yeah it's a shame you lost but you strive for your victory and that is what matters. Agatha, it clearly shows we all need improvement. This hasn't happened yet so you can improve yourself when the championships arrive in 5 years. Gucho, I agree with Agatha on this. Lance nodded and already planned a schedule for his harsh training. With Sinnoh High Command. Cynthia, Clap's smiling champion Diantha clearly showed why she deserves to be the Kalos champion. It was a pretty great battle. Flint, yeah. Now next battle is your champion Cynthia. Let's see how it goes against the Unova champion rookie. Bertha, I would like to see how strong she is. In Veilstone City. Paul, even with such brute force Lance lost though I admit he made many mistakes in the battle. Reggie, yeah and his Dragonite took so much damage for nothing. His plan was really compromised which clearly shows it wasn't a very good plan. In Kalos. Everyone in the Kalos region including the gym leaders cheered at the victory of their champion and how she defeated the champion of Kanto and Johto. Gawar City. Arya, alright our champion won. Says cheerfully. Palermo, yeah though champion Lance made plenty of mistakes in the battle. I am glad Kalos triumphed over Kanto and Johto. With Kalos trio? Shauna, alright. Turno, hugs Trevor Diantha won finally. She did it. Trevor, yeah the best champion ever. With Kalos High Command. All the elite members of the region were happy on the win of their champion applauding her. Cybold, Claps congrats champion you showed why you totally deserve the position of the Kalos champion. Malva, yeah and it looks like despite the years your Mega Gardevoir still shines brighter. Diantha nods happy that she won and hugs her Gardevoir who also smiles on winning. Lance approached his defeated Dragonite and knelt a knee down while petting its head. Lance, thanks, Dragonite. He takes out its Pokeball and calls it back. Lance then gets approached by Diantha. Lance, that was a well-deserved victory. You truly made it look easy. Diantha, you know what? I truly enjoyed the time we spent battling together as well. Lance, much luck against Leon. I look forward to your battle and your strategy. Diantha, thank you. Both the champions smiled at that which showed that they still had respect for each other and good sportsmanship as they also nodded on their words showing what their future selves said was true and many veterans and champions also smiled at that. With Leon. Leon, I look forward to facing you Kalos champion. Hope we have a great battle in the semifinals. Charizard was also ready to show the Kalos champion's Gardevoir what true power really was. Lance was seen in the hallways walking till. Ash, Lance. He gets approached by Ash. Lance, Ash. Hi there. Looks like my challenge has come to an end. Ash, you were great out there Lance. I really enjoyed the battle and you are a great champion. I really wish we could battle soon. Says determined. Lance smiles sure, but now I leave everything on you, Ash. Now I hand the responsibility of leading the Kanto region to greatness on your shoulders. Ash, but I am the Alola champion, so I represent Alola, right? Ash was confused, to which Lance chuckles. Lance, yeah, but you also represent Kanto cause it's your origin region from where you came and succeeded in Alola, so don't forget you are representing both the regions. Ash, understood, and smiles determined. Don't worry, Lance, I will make Kanto proud. Lance, I know you will because I trust you and Ash. The next time we battle I want the battle to be for the title of the Kanto champion. Ash, eyes widen. Wait, Kanto champion? Lance, yeah, you truly deserve its position. I know you will be a great champion of both the regions of Kanto and Alola. I will be waiting for you at Silver Town and all my support is with you, Ash. With that Lance leaves, leaving a stunned Ash behind with Pikachu on his shoulder. Ash smiles. I will win. Looks at Pikachu. Let's win this championship together, buddy. Pikachu also nods as they leave. Iris, Ash. Ash turned to notice Iris coming. Ash, hey, Iris. Pikachu, Pika. Ash, you're almost up. Iris giggles. Right now, I'm so nervous. But you know, I'm really excited about it too. I just want to go out there and rock it. Ash, it's you and Cynthia, give it all you can give. Iris, I sure will. Not only that, I'll win it a step before you do. Ash, well, Mo, you've said it. Iris, I'll see you after. Runs off. Pikachu, cheer for me. People were surprised while the Kantonians were stunned by the talk, as they wanted to know why did Lance trust the Alola champion so much, while many thought that Lance had gone mad trusting that rookie, though the Kantonians now looked hopeful now that they had realized that the region was not out of the tournament yet. With Kanto Johto High Command. There was a moment of stunning silence when Karen breaks it for them. Karen, it seems you trust the Alola champion a lot, Lance. Koga, to a level that yourself said that he should challenge you to the title of Kanto champion, and I never heard you say that to any trainer you have met. Lorelei, the kid must be special to earn such respect from you, Lance. Lance, yeah, and if my future self trusts him so much, then we should see how powerful and skilled that kid is. And it's good that Kanto is still not out of the tournament yet. Bruno, yeah, now the Kanto region can keep its hopes on that boy. Will scoffs, really? If our champion failed, then you seriously expect that the rookie will succeed? Steven is ranked the third strongest, so defeating him will not be easy. With Ash and friends. Brock, surprised. Wow, it looks like our champion really trusts you a lot, Ash. Well, you shouldn't let our champion down. Go out there and give your best. Ash nods, though he was nervous. He wanted to see how powerful his future self was. Misty, and it seems you also know the Unova champion as well. Says a little jealous. With Iris. Iris was surprised to see her talk casually with the Alola champion, which showed that they must be friends. She was confused on this and clearly wanted to know the relationship with the Alola champion. Iris, how do I know the Alola champion, Iris, and I wonder how strong he is for Lance to place so much trust on him. Axu also nods, clearly intrigued. Drayden was also thinking the same thing about the relationship of Iris with the Alola champion and was intrigued to know why Lance trusts the Alola champion so much. End of chapter. Hi guys, so this was chapter 3 and I hope you like it. So Lance and Diantha battled and the Kalos champion emerged victorious while Lance lost. I added the last few lines myself. Besides, I think that they should have added this in the script. So if you like the chapter, then please vote and comment on it. I am ready for any suggestions. Next chapter will be released soon. Till then, take care guys. Bye guys.
Okay, sadly the chapter is over. And if you enjoyed the video, just leave a like and subscribe with post notification. So when the next chapter is ready, you will be notified. Okay, see you in the next video. Bye.